Hello everybody and welcome to episode 32 of the OKKO Anime Club. Today we are going to be asking the biggest question of all, in that are you the bone of your sword? Because I'm the bone of my sword. And fire is my body and all that jazz. Today, of course, we are talking about the wonderful ufotable adaptation of Unlimited Blade Works. I am Alan, I am back a shift, I am the one you is hearing talking right now. Joining me as always are my two wonderful co-hosts, Miss Ebby Bizarre Jelly 5.
Hello.
Mr. Cam Tensei Twister doing a cheeky dance like a mofo.
I'm the bone of Alan's sword.
And our wonderful, beautiful, delicious, gorgeous guest of the day is the one who I have saved in Skype as Inconveniently Large Penis. It is Connor, FictionReviews. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really good. Excited.
Yeah, man. Because when we
Welcome
did
back.
Watamote, and that was a show that we all hated and you hated, and I was just like, look, mate, to make up for this, next time we have you on, is going to be for this. So have we made it up to you yet? Or is that all dependent on how the stream goes?
We're going to have the stream yet. We could all, like, the three of us could hate it for all that he knows.
Yeah.
The three of us ragging on it for ages.
We've been, what, like, not even a minute into the stream already? I'm already perfectly okay.
Yeah, man. Because Connor's dressed as Shirou today.
He is.
He's dressed as the naive badass himself.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Can I do some things before we start?
Yes, you may.
Right. Number one, we did an episode at KitterCon about HAL, the movie, and you will never get to see that because we were very, very ill prepared, so sorry about that. And second, please do not spoil anything that is not the Unlimited Blade Works scenario in the chat, so no Heavens Feel spoilers, please, no Fate, zero spoilers, just in case there are people here who haven't seen it. No... Is the Fate scenario just called Fate?
It's just called Fate, yeah.
Yeah, don't spoil that either because I haven't seen it, and I'll be real mad. And
This discussion is for Unlimited Blade Works only.
Exclusively. Don't you be talking about holotraxia?
Fate's
or Fate Extra.
The world of Fate is a big, big world, so you can't assume that because someone's seen one thing that they're aware of everything that's going on.
Sure.
Yeah. So we now progress into some general introductory thoughts, and I actually want to throw a curveball here, and I want to choose Connor to start.
oh man,
boy.
Yeah, man, come on, Connor. How did it live up to the grandoir expectations that couldn't be any bigger at this point?
Right. For what it went out to accomplish, I think it achieved. It is by far the most faithful adaptation of the visual novel route, and it made do with what it could, because for those of you who don't know, the visual novel is set up in three separate routes: Fate, Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven's Feel, in that order. To unlock the next route, you have to play the route before it. So you play the Fate route, and so on and so forth. Unlimited Blade Works is the middle routes, which means all the information that you get from the Fate routes is just already known and implied throughout the routes. And that becomes an unfortunate problem for any adaptation of Unlimited Blade Works or Heaven's Feel.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. So I didn't know that. I assumed that you, like, as you played the visual novel, you had to make a choice, and then that split it off.
Basically, what happens in terms of the visual novel is the branch points that set you on the routes are when Archer and Saber first see each other in front of Shirou's house, and so that's where you choose between Fate and Heaven's Feel, and then when they encounter Berserker on the bridge after they've gone to the church, that's where you branch between Unlimited Blade Works and Fate. So that's the only stuff that's like that prologue bit is the only bit that's the same in all three routes.
Yeah, but you have to unlock them. So
Yes,
that makes sense. I didn't realize there was the unlocking aspect.
Yeah, because you have to play through one and then you get the ability to get your way onto the other one afterwards.
is it a long visual novel?
It's fucking stupid long.
Oh.
I think to 100%
Fate,
it.
what did you expect?
I had
every
several
route.
hundred hours on it. I think to 100%
Yeah, every
it.
route
What?
to get through it is like at least 24 hours of actual gameplay. It's
Oh my
ridiculous.
goodness.
Lots
I
and
think
lots of reading.
I think it's definitely probably one of the reasons why it was so popular initially, though, because it is so deep and it's so involved.
Yep.
Didn't me and you play the porn bits at my house one time, Alan? I forgot about that.
Yeah, man.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's what friends do.
Small spoiler for anyone who didn't know, Fate Stay Night is never gay.
Yeah. And they like to cheekily try and avoid that. Hope this time not with CGI dragons, though.
CGI dragons!
So does that conclude your introductory thoughts, Connor? Or did you actually... anything additional you wanted to pop on there?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, basically, like, with what they had, they did what they could. And that's going to anger some people. Other people are be okay with that. And for me, who knows the Unlimited Blade Works route like the back of his hand, it was great. Everything that ufotable did and all the directors and writers did was spot on for me. So yeah.
Smashing. Oh, Abby.
I knew you were going to pick on me.
You're the person I'm most confused about. I'm just not sure. I wasn't sure how you were going to take it in.
What way are you going? Like
my thoughts were that you were going to like this probably a bit more than Fate Zero because of the stuff in Fate Zero that turned you off, like with horrible, gory, nasty things happening. But I didn't think it was going to be your favourite thing in the world.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, to be honest. I liked it more than Fate Zero. I know that people are going to fucking hate me for that. That's fine. It's because I felt like this was way more accessible than Fate Zero for some reason. I don't know why, but having watched Fate Zero, I definitely felt like I got a little bit more out of it as well. From, like, when you see... what's his name? Kotomine?
Yes.
Priest. You see him and Rin together, and I'm like, I know what you did.
Yep.
Like... but for some reason I like this more than I like Fate Zero, and I know people aren't going to agree with me. That's fine. Archer is best girl.
Fair assessment.
Cammy whammy.
Hello.
You're the bone of my sword too.
Yeah, mate. So, oh god. Yeah, Fate Unlimited Blade Works. So, I can't help this... The way that this was set out, it definitely felt to me like it was intended to be like a sequel to Fate Zero, because to me, I don't really see you being able to get the full enjoyment out of this without watching Zero, because with the original Fate Stay Night, that was intended to just be a standalone thing, and all the twists that were there were kind of... There were big reveals that were built up to, whereas with this one, it's just implied that you know everything, including just casually dropping Gilgamesh's name in when he appears at Einsburn Castle. It's like, oh shit, it's Gilgamesh, wicked. And then from obviously, I haven't played the visual novel, so I don't know. But from what I know about Fate Stay Night as a whole, this does seem like it's a really good adaptation. The downside to that is towards the end, I found that it got a bit too talky, and I feel that's just a direct result of it being quite a good adaptation, because they've taken a lot of the dialogue from that and made that the meat of what's going on. So it's in depth and interesting, but I feel like a lot of the best parts were spent at the start, because that's when all the crazy fighting was. Case in point, episode 0 and like episode 1 probably had the best fights in the whole thing, which was Archer versus Lancer.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they kind of they blew their load really early on, and you had a smattering of cool bits here and there, but I feel like they were a bit too spread out. Thing is though, I still really enjoyed it. I know, like Abby said, a lot of people aren't going to like it compared to Zero, but the one thing that I think that people have to bear in mind is that the casts are entirely different. Because the thing with Fate Zero is, the cast is entirely adults, apart from Waver. And then in Fate Stay Night, the cast is entirely kids, for the most part. So there's that dynamic that you have to think about.
Sorry, I had to laugh at something in chat, because someone just said, I'd fuck Archer.
I don't think there's anyone who wouldn't. I know I would. But anyway, yeah, it has its problems, but I still really, really enjoyed it.
Smashing. Before I move into my thoughts, I just want to say that Abby asked a question in chat, which is, why the fuck is it even called Fate Stay Night? The official reasoning as to why it's called Fate Stay Night is because all the battles happen at night.
I just thought it was always because everyone stayed at Shiro's.
Yeah.
Fate, stay the night at Shirou's.
Exactly.
Fate sleepover.
Yep. I'd play it.
Oh, what do I think of this thing? I got lots of things what I think. General thoughts, I fucking loved it, alright? But the thing that I think the most about this show is I feel like it just sits in a really weird place. Because to me, this isn't this isn't a sequel, but it's also not the first thing of anything. Like, the ideal way to watch this, I think, is if you've seen, like, the Dean adaptation and then this, because that's kind of how the route was meant to be, because what Connor was saying earlier, with basically, like, what you were saying with Cam with Gilgamesh, because if you've seen the Fate scenario, you know who Gilgamesh is, you go into it. Whereas with this, my problem with it here is that they've tried to make it a sequel more than it was originally, because there's loads of things that they put in here that weren't in there before, to tie it into Zero more.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the scene with Kotomine and Rin, when she's tied to the chair, where she's like, "You killed my dad!" That wasn't in it.
Yeah.
That's tying it into Zero. Various things like that, where Gilgamesh is talking and he's talking about the end of the war. A lot of that stuff is kind of implied, but not actually there. And so what this thing is doing is it's basically assuming you've seen Zero. And so if you watch this one first, it's spoiling you a good chunk of Zero. But then, the reason I say it sits in such a weird place is that I feel like the main reason why so many people hate this thing is because I don't think this is for people that like Phase Zero at all. They're completely different shows. Like,
Yeah,
they go into completely different themes. This is a lot more of like a shonen-y, action-y series with kind of with romance elements, with stuff for people who want those kind of things, whereas Zero goes into a lot darker and deeper themes. And so if you're a big fan of Fate Zero, you go into this, you're not going to get anything you got out of that, and so people are going to walk out of this and go, "What the fuck was that? That was stupid." But at the same time, it is kind of a sequel and not. It's really weird how it sits with things, but from where I sit, I thought it was a bloody good adaptation. I mean, it's basically one of those cases where they covered everything. They didn't take anything away, but they added things. And so the things they added predominantly were like flashbacks and stuff like that. And some of it might be me being hazy, sort of forgetting everything that was in that scenario, and also like sort of forgetting what was in what scenario as to how much was actually changed. But from what I can gather, it was a very solid and faithful adaptation that just sort of added bits and pieces here and there to make it flow better as its own sort of individual unit, I guess.
So, what I've gathered from this introductory section is we're all in agreement that the movie was better, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I haven't even seen the
Never
bloody
way.
movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, you have to watch it just for one bit, and that's when Shinji gets turned into the Grail, because instead of the design of the Grail in that, it's literally just like this abscess with Shinji's face in it, like so fucking hilarious. That made the whole film worth it. Like, 'cause I watched that in my anime club at uni, and literally the entire room just lost their shit. So good.
Yeah.
So see if I can find a picture of it.
So basically, the thing I pick up on here is that because I went and I looked at a few reviews and people have done posts and stuff about it. Anytime someone who said, "I think this show is crap," they have started their review with, "I have seen Fate Zero," or "I have played the visual novel." Whereas people that really like it, I think, are just people who have just gone into it fresh, I think, without sort of having like these expectations of it being something different.
I think part of it for me was I'd heard people go, "Oh, Unlimited Blade Works, proper shite, mate." And I'd gone, "Oh, it must be pretty bad then. Guess I'll set my expectations pretty low," and it blew them out of the water completely.
Because I think like another big thing is that once like Dean Fate Stay Night never had that bad of a reputation until Fate Zero came out. Once Fate Zero came out, became big, people went back and watched Dean Fate Stay Night and they were like, "Jesus Christ, this is bollocks."
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're going to have the exact same reaction to this one. I mean, Dean Fate Stay Night obviously is nowhere near as good looking, there isn't as much interesting stuff happening in the scenario in general, but I feel like the same people that really don't like Dean Fate Stay Night are the same people that really aren't going to like this, and if someone who did like Dean Fate Stay Night, they definitely will like this, I guess.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely makes sense.
But I definitely liked it a lot. I definitely got a lot out of it. But there we go.
Oh,
Find it.
oh.
Right, you guys talk. I'm gonna get this up to.
Oh my god!
It's so good.
You guys do some speaking. I'm gonna get this on the screen.
Hold on.
Oh
Yeah. Okay, I remember this now.
my god.
Fucking genius. I feel like the whole movie was a build up to that. Anyway, what should we talk about? I think
One of the things that I liked in this more than I liked in Fate Zero.
okay.
Characters. Like, I know we sort of like brushed off.
There he is.
I'm trying to talk serious, and no one's gonna listen to me.
I'm gonna refresh the stream so I can see it. Let's get the fuckery out of the way.
Yeah.
Not like the Terraformars stream where we.
I'm
Stuck in a big marshmallow. Let me out. Right. Bye bye, Shinji. Continue, Evie.
What the hell was I saying? Characters. Okay, so there were characters that I liked in Fate Zero, like Waver and Ryder, and I guess Kiritsugu as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there weren't a ton of them that I was like, yes, this character is the best character. But in this one I was like, oh, I really like Archer, I really like Shirou, even though apparently people don't. And I don't know, I just liked more characters in this, and I felt like I could sympathise with them a lot more.
I think that's kind of one of the key differences with this is, like I said earlier, it's the fact that the cast of Fate Zero, adults, they've already kind of had all their development, apart from like Kiritsugu, who develops right at the end. Whereas with Fate Stay Night, the characters are all not Fate Stay Night, with Unlimited Blade Works, the characters are all kind of, because they're all kids.
They're wee
for the most
babbies
part.
with chocolate on face.
Yeah, they've still got that room for quite a high level of development, and they all sort of do as time goes by. So, you know, I think it's that you get more of a sense of progression with them. You have this journey with them, whereas with a lot of the characters in Zero, they're already at their journey's end.
Apart from Waver, which is why Waver was the best
Apart from
character.
Waver, which is why his cameo was the best thing
Yeah,
ever.
it was.
I was
Like-
like, Kinross was like, so I was watching it with Kinross, and he was like, oh, there's a cameo in this episode, and we got to that point, and I was like, is that Waver?
Yeah, man, that is Lord El Meloy II.
Is that actually
Yep.
Waver?
He actually
Yes,
did get a
yes,
couple
it was.
centimeters on him.
Yeah,
man.
man.
It
He looks
looks
like a
like
badass when he's
hair.
older.
When it goes into the epilogue, I'll just jump to this very quickly. When it goes to the epilogue episode and they're at Clock Tower, I was like, oh my god, if Waver shows up in this episode,
Yeah.
I am gonna flip my shit. And then they fall asleep on the bus, and Shinji wakes up in school, and I was like, nah, man, that can't have been some crazy flash forward. You can't dangle Waver in front of me and then take him away.
Yeah.
And then they
Take him away, but
I know, right? And then they gave him to me, and it was just genius. Made the
Yeah,
whole
he-
show for me. But
Yeah.
again, I think that even more so kind of carries home the idea that this is meant to be a sequel to Zero, because they've got you've got that direct link there as well with an actual character that was there
yeah, it's
that
they.
you're clearly supposed to recognise, because they don't mention him by name or anything. To anyone who didn't know, that would just be a random guy.
It's not even just Waver though, and assume people have seen Zero, because there's bloody cameos of this like trio of girls from Hollow Ataraxia
Yes.
that like weren't in it before, and it's just like, it's these girls, they're not doing anything, but they're just there, and if you know who they are, you're like, yay, it's those three. They're
And Luvia,
important
too,
later.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
What? Oh my god, blew my mind.
Right, so let's kick things off and talk about the prologue. How big of a gay bulge did everyone get at this bloody prologue?
Oh my god. I was sitting in front of my computer like an hour before it came onto Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I think everyone was
Waiting
Just
that fucking countdown.
Oh.
The thing is though, because of the countdown, I didn't realise the episode was like a full length episode.
Yeah.
Like, was it like a double length episode?
It was 45
So
minutes, yeah. There were
when
flipping
it got
four of
to-
those.
when it got to like the 25-minute point, I was like, wait, what?
Still going.
What's going on?
Oh.
Oh.
Wait, were there more of those in this season?
There were 3 total
Yeah, there were
45-minute
three.
length episodes.
I did not notice. I genuinely did.
Yeah,
not
they were
notice
all
any
in,
of
they were
them.
all in the first season though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
it
Oh,
was
right.
honestly
I
shocking
assume-
to me.
Was Unlimited Blade Works with a full stop one of them?
no. It was
Okay.
literally just 0, 1, and the last episode
12.
of the first season.
Just
So
12.
0,
Okay.
1, and 12.
Was that the answer or?
That's the one where
Oh,
They go on
no.
a date together.
they
Yeah.
go on a
Why are we
date.
doing this?
Ah.
They
Great
go to the
episode.
batting centre, and
yeah,
then
I
casters all like.
Oh man,
I
Which,
genuinely.
by the
didn't-
way, can I just
Saber.
say, in all fairness, she hit every single ball.
Saber was so
She
adorable.
did do that. She hit all the balls. Just because they did get hit home runs doesn't matter.
Did she get up to the plate and they were just like, oh, that's a baseball.
Dragons. CGI
CGR dragons. CGR dolphins.
Yes.
I feel like episode 0 is actually my favourite part of the series.
Yes.
Because it basically went, this is what you can expect from the whole series,
Yeah.
and then that was kind of it.
Yep.
It wasn't Alan's favourite part of the series though, because there was the bit where they put glasses on Rin and Saber. And...
Oh yeah, that was
in
so
the day
good.
episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
that I lost it. I fucking shit. They were not just glasses. They were fucking red underrims. They were like Homer glasses. They were just like.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing. Was like I knew that this was the Rin route, and then they did all this stuff with Saber, who is, for anyone who, for whatever undefinable reason, does not know, is one of my favorite characters of all time. I was just like, oh, this kid is going to have a very difficult time if this keeps up.
I don't know though, because I mean, Saber doesn't really get like proper ganked in UBW.
No, she doesn't.
Like she's there through the end, and what I found amusing is that the good end of Unlimited Blade works, not the true end. Saber sticks around at the end. She doesn't disappear. Yeah. So basically,
there is another OVA coming out in October that's like an alternate good ending.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's the rumor that's spreading around right now. Which
I didn't know that. There you go. Because it's just
spoilers, God.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh no.
Not that much changes at the end.
Oh, there.
Well,
I'm sorry, guys.
That's cool.
We went like 30 episodes without that happening at all. And it's happened 2 weeks on the trot.
There he is.
No.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody.
Does Alan look like a blurred pixel?
It hadn't happened 30 times before that.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, Caster did it, don't worry.
Yep, it was Caster. She was all like, "Mwah." Okay.
She was all like, wow, Cam's the only person that thinks I'm best girl.
She was like, wow, all my actual character motivation didn't make it to the adaptation.
Okay.
You need to sort out the layout, Alan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, boop. There we go, it's fixed now.
Everything's gone good today. We talked about a show that everybody hates and everything goes wrong.
Sorry, I forgot to pop the chat back out because that lined everything out wrong. Anyway, we're still on the prologue. And I was like off my tits on happiness that they did the first little bit from Rin's perspective.
Yeah, that was cool. I did think that was quite nice. They did that from Rin's perspective and then kind of shifted it into Shirou.
Yeah.
That was a nice way to introduce it.
Yeah, man. And because like when the prologue came out, and I was just like, right, so that means the next episode they're doing stuff from Shirou's perspective, and that's really cool. Because obviously there's nowhere in the visual novel where it's from Rin's perspective.
Yeah.
And the bloody fucking fight in the first episode, holy shit.
Yeah.
I was on that. I was jumping up and down. I was rolling around. I was salivating. I was like, this is my reason for being on this earth right now.
It was incredible because in one fell swoop, I honestly thought they like beat all of Fate Zero's fight scenes with just one. I was just like, oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
I've lost where we are entirely. Like that
I know,
whole
it's
paw
just
dropping is just completely
Yeah.
thrown for a
I'm
loop.
sorry, guys. I've ruined everything. We're just talking about the introduction now.
Yeah.
Which then
I've got to
basically...
say, I thought that episode 1, when it's like switched perspectives, I thought that was way less interesting.
Oh yeah, because you've already been given all the information.
Yeah, but it was all like badass and cool, and Archer was there, and then Archer wasn't there in the second.
Yeah.
So we know what your favourite episodes.
Yeah.
The episodes where Archer's in it.
Yep.
Was Archer in this episode? No. Worst episode.
Piss episode.
Skip.
I mean, maybe he kind of was.
Oh.
But I didn't know that.
It'd be amazing if you went through the entire show absolutely loving Archer, hating Shirou, and you were like, bugger.
I'm so conflicted.
And you just be like, man, grow up quick, boy. When you get older, you give me a ring, bro. And then we have
on my anime list, yeah.
And then we have the unfortunate thing that happens at everything with the fate name to it, in that the episode following this is the info dump episode.
Yeah.
Where it's just 20 minutes of dialogue where you learn about the war.
At least it wasn't the first episode, like with Fate Zero,
It's
where
true.
it was just 45 minutes of talking.
Yeah.
Because I feel that put a lot of people off, you included, Ebby.
Mm-hmm.
Where it
So I was just like, this is a lot of talking.
Yep.
I don't get any of this.
Yeah.
But I guess I like that it was, as you say, that it was just 20 minutes. It did it there, it just took it out. And then as soon as they walk away from it, it's the fucking Berserker fight, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Berserker! Shout outs to Carnival Phantasm and Berserker.
Berserker. see if Ilia had Berserker, then this would have gone completely differently.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
What's that, Gilgamesh? You give me a hard time, just run you over, mate.
And it's here where kind of like Unlimited Blade Works was doing its thing, because it's always been like the most action heavy scenario, only there's a big gap in the middle where it's not, and it's just like, here's your awesome fight scene at the start, here's your awesome fight scene against Heracles. Heracles, however they're pronounced. Heracles.
Berserker. Sort of matters, Berserker.
Which was-
Wait, so was it that episode where they went to the church, right? And
Yeah.
Kotomine explains everything. Did you guys notice that they mirrored the scene with Kyrie? Was it Kyrie and oh god, what's his name now? Rin's dad.
Yeah.
When they do
Yeah.
the circle around each other, there's that bit where Kyrie circles around Shirou.
Mhm.
I was like, that's perfect. That's amazing.
It was. I noticed that too. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. He waited 10 years to do this.
I'm gonna walk around a circle so bad. Oh yeah, it was great. See, little references like that, that's great. I can get behind them.
Things where it's just like you go, oh, that was nice. I spotted
Tokyo,
that,
that's it.
as opposed to like super direct stuff or whatever. And what was also great about this year is that Archer actually uses his bow.
Yep.
He doesn't use that fucker once in the Fate scenario.
No, he does not.
Archer was an archer.
Yeah.
At least for a bit.
It's like when I was playing the game, yeah. And so I played through the entire Fate scenario, played this, got up to that. It was like a couple of hours into the game. I see the CG of him with his bow, and I'm like, yes, he's actually an archer. The world,
get that figure.
it's not lying anymore.
Because the figure comes with the bow as well. The bow's really cool because it's got a handle on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was using it like proper archers in the West do. Like, oh, sorry. I got excited about that because he's
Because
cool.
it's actually people
That's why I like
doing
him
archery
so much,
that
'cause he's doing
correctly.
archery the way I know how to do archery. So.
Mm-hmm.
Just with a bow that looks like it's from the future.
Yes,
Yeah.
Skill made the comment of he shot one arrow at Berserker, and the funny thing about that is that arrow was a repurposed sword.
Yeah, it was.
Oh dear. Apparently there's just a thing with archers in Fate where they're never actually archers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gilgamesh is the worst for that. Like, he doesn't ever use a bow.
Yeah, but he's got projectiles, so
Yeah, but
yes.
it's- the
Gate of Babylon.
The Gate of Babylon technically classes him as an archer because he uses projectile attacks.
Yeah.
Well, what other class would he be if they put a new one in, just like King or something? Or God.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
God class servant.
God class.
Come
Oh
on,
my God.
Gilgamesh. He'd love it. He'd be all about that.
Well, he would have.
Mhm.
He looked pretty dead at the end to me, I'll be honest.
Well, I mean.
He'll be back. He always
Yeah.
comes back.
I like to think there's a sequel that's just him being really bitter about what happened at the end of Limited Blade Works.
He's just sitting in the corner of a bar drinking. I was the king of heroes.
No, I just want to see,
And then
like.
this fucking kid comes along with his unlimited blade works, and then I went in a black hole and just fuck everything.
No, I just want to see like at least one OVA of what he did in that 10-year gap between Zero and Fate Stay Night.
I think because one thing that Emily pointed out was that in Zero he was an absolute badass, and then in Stay Night he seemed a bit like surely he'd be able to hold his own against Shirou, when in Zero he could hold his own against Berserker. So my thought is he literally just spent 10 years getting drunk and having sex, and he got a bit rusty.
Pretty much.
I mean, he was probably still working out because he saw that bit of him. No, that was a flashback.
That was
Never
flashback.
mind. That was a flashback.
It
Never
was-
mind. Never mind. He
it
let
was all
himself
flab.
go.
It was all flab under there.
It's because he fucking couldn't find his armor. He's like, shit, where's my Goldie gone?
Yeah.
Where's my earrings?
Kirei, where'd I put my gold armor?
He never put his armor on. What was that all about?
Which is stupid. I don't even know why he doesn't wear his armor in Unlimited Blade Work, because he wears it in Fate.
It's just, he couldn't be asked.
He just probably couldn't be asked.
Unless they like in keeping with the whole idea of this was meant to be portrayed as a direct like sequel to Zero, and because he was chewed up and spat out by the Grail, they were trying to say that he couldn't do it, but he still has everything else, so not even that makes sense.
Yeah. You can
The
just
one
get some new.
explanation I've seen is like it's just an ego thing. It's like
Yeah.
it's this kid in a stupid baseball T-shirt.
I don't need
Need
armor.
armor
For that prick. Something like that, I guess. Yeah, after the stuff with Berserker, we sort of get moved into a compound of introducing the whole Shinji and Rider thing, and also the going to Ryudo Temple thing. I don't remember exactly what order this chunk goes in, because that's the bit I haven't rewatched.
Can we talk about Shinji and how
How
fucking hated him? I've never hated a character as much as I've hated that guy.
thing
And
is
then I
that-
realised he was voiced by Penguin from Shirou Cafe, and I couldn't hear things.
The thing about Shinji, right, is he went from being a disgusting slug of a man up until about halfway through when he becomes Gilgamesh's partner, and then he just became hilarious. Because he just becomes the comic relief, and I was like, this is great, this is just such a fitting punishment for such a twat.
Yeah, Shinji in everything.
Lancer, like, punched him in the face, and I cheered because I just
Yep.
wanted that so bad through the entire
It's that
series.
bit-
I was just
it's
like,
that
just
bit
punch
where,
him.
it's the bit where they go to Einsburn Castle and Gilgamesh just drops him out of the sky.
Yep.
No, I just loved. I also appreciate that Liz and Stella had actual kind of roles in this. They did in
Yeah.
the novel, and then it's just like you have the count to 10, and then they start at 9, and then once they get to 5, they start counting faster.
Yep.
And there was the bit where, like, Lancer stabbed him a bit, and he was like, ah! And, like, ran away.
Yeah.
No!
So yeah,
Oh.
but that's like my theory of it all was like one of the big things that I've seen people really complaining about for Face Day Night is that Archer was like this compelling like character in Zero, and then in Stay Night he's just like generic villain number 3 kind of thing. You know, I'm going to destroy the world. Woo. I believe that Shinji is what caused him to become like that. Just spending a day with Shinji, it was
Yeah.
just
It's
like
like, oh god.
burning everything.
I can definitely get behind people thinking that though, because like Gilgamesh is a lot less interesting in this scenario particularly than he
Yes.
was in Zero. Because in Zero he was like there was so much more to him than here.
Mhm.
Zero's just like, yeah, I know what I want to do with that Grail. I'm gonna freaking shower everyone with fiery poo and blow up the world.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
Yeah, Shinji is a massive cunt. Like,
Yeah, he is.
the thing of Shinji though is like, I'm just like, why is he so popular with the ladies in school?
Yeah, right.
Does he just like inject them with shit whilst they're not looking?
He's got
Probably.
he's got his luscious blue locks, his
Yeah,
luscious cerulean locks, and I don't know,
We
because
don't
he
know.
talks a big game, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So.
Totally.
But the moment that I realised that he was voiced by Penguin,
You were like, oh
least-
man, husbando.
At least he wasn't. Well, you just want Shinji to just be like, Penkosha!
basically, I think it was like a scene with him in the church or something, and I just went, "Oh my god, that's Penguin!" And like,
Can you imagine if he went up, like crawled up to Rin when she was tied up in the chair and was like, after Archer's finished, you will be my Penko-chan.
That would be amazing.
apparently we've hit 100 viewers, so
Wow,
Woo!
that never happens.
I know.
We never
We're
get that
talking-
many.
It's because we're talking about Shinji, and everyone's like, oh man, Shinji,
It's
my
'cause-
boy,
no,
let's
it's
get in.
'cause- It's because Connor's here and he's hot.
Yeah, man.
That's why. Oh. Well, main thing though I don't like about Unlimited Blade Works is that we just see like fucking nothing of Ryder.
I know.
She
I
just
felt
shows
so
up
sorry
and then
for
gets
her.
dicked just
She does
instantly.
one fight with Shirou, and it's just like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and then that's it. She's just gone.
She just gets freaking knobbed off like straight away by a
Of an
human.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Ryder, what's going on with your neck? Oh.
Literally does a full 360.
Which is a shame. Like, I know that's how it is in the scenario, but
Yeah.
Ryder's great.
Yeah, I like Ryder.
Though I think the reason why I like Ryder is because of Holoatraxia now, because she gets a lot more in that.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would like to know things about Ryder before I go, yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, you had a fight and then you were dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you still didn't, like, even you being dead didn't
Yeah,
take
like-
Shinji out of
like,
it for some
If
reason.
you don't know, if
Give him
this,
Gilgamesh!
if this is your first experience with Ryder, you won't even know why she's the fucking Ryder class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't.
Exactly.
I really don't.
Oh,
Because
my
like
God.
her like weapons and stuff would surely make her more suited to an assassin.
I thought
Unless
she was assassin.
unless you know why she's Ryder, you wouldn't know why she's Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this get explained?
In Fate,
Yeah, in Fate, in the first one.
So does that mean I gotta watch Fate Stay Night?
yeah, you do.
You should. If you like this one,
Mm.
and you like this one more than Fate Zero, I reckon you like Dean Fate. Doesn't look very nice. Archer speaks
no.
like twice.
No! Worst. 4 out of 10.
Though Archer does do the entire bloody Unlimited Blade Works incantation in
Yeah.
Dean Fate, even though he
Oh,
doesn't
I
in
know.
the visual novel.
Consider the truncated one is I am the bone of my sword, unknown to death nor known to life, unlimited blade works. How anticlimactic is that?
It's it's such a ball. Like that's like my favourite thing when he goes through the entire thing in English,
Yeah.
and it's just like and he doesn't do it. He doesn't do
Yeah.
it all. It's like why?
Did you
It's-
get really hyped when he started doing it? And you were like, yes, this
Yeah,
is it.
Yeah,
And then-
Yeah.
like I got
Yeah,
really hyped. Like
As soon as I saw like the little, I was like,
that face. Tell me more, Archer. Tell me about what your blood's made of.
They could have literally just transposed the sound file from the game and
Yeah.
just put it into the series.
I'm
That would have been fine.
assuming they didn't want to put it in there because people take the piss out of English.
Mm.
Fuck that shit, and because it's long-winded. But the first time he does it, he says, "I am the bone of my sword," does a bit of a monologue, like, of other stuff, and then goes into the rest of it. Like,
It's
then
like-
just ends it.
In the Fate scenario, when they're fighting at Einsburn Castle, he does it in like little bit, like throughout the episode, he does the verses,
Yeah.
like bit by bit, and then he finishes it, and that's when it goes all unlimited blade works. So why don't they do that?
I don't know.
And then they did it like when they did the prologue and they showed it all in Japanese. I thought that was okay, but like why have Shirou say it all in Japanese? Where did he learn that from? Surely if he's copying Archer, he should say it in English because that's what Archer did.
Yeah, but he can't speak English.
He doesn't need to though.
He's a dirty
With every time they cross blows, he learns more English. That should be on it.
That'd be amazing. It's like, teach me languages, sir. Hello. Goodbye. How are
Where
you
is
today?
Blackbird?
Buck Wild.
Where do I find the bus stop? Okay, in amongst all this, they go to Ryudo Temple at some point in here, and we see Assassin.
Yeah,
And-
yeah,
Oh, I love Assassin in I don't know why, because like he didn't really do all that much, but
It
I
was
think
cool.
I love Assassin. Like the Rito Temple like Guardian Assassin is probably one of my favourite servants, and
But
I don't know, I love him. He's great.
I thought for the longest time that he wasn't like proper assassin. I was waiting for assassin to show up. I was like, where's the assassin? Come on, because you know he's been summoned by another servant, so he can't be the actual assassin, right?
Yeah.
Oh, did I miss something? Did I
You
miss
have
something?
you haven't you haven't, but stuff. There is stuff.
Yeah.
Fate Stay Night.
Heaven's Field stuff.
I'm gonna wait for a movie of that, and it's not even
I
gonna be
know.
that good.
The thing I like about Assassin is that he is probably like the prime example until you find out the truth with Archer. He's like the first proper example that we get of them kind of playing with the concept of what a heroic spirit is.
Yeah.
So I mean, the first example you get of that is way back in Zero when you get Castor from Zero, because obviously he was a heroic spirit that was, you know, made
A
evil.
naughty boy.
Yeah, he was like, and this was like the thing. They don't have to be good, but the thing with Assassin is because he is a servant summoned by a servant, you get that level of disconnect, and that level of disconnect can open up all sorts of wacky shit, where this heroic spirit is literally just a guy pretending to be a guy that never existed.
Yep.
But because the Grail is the Grail, it just made him that guy.
Yep.
And gave him all the powers that he was supposed to have in the legends.
And he had a freaking Odachi.
Yeah, man. He had Tarotachi in...
He did.
He had some weird name, though. But yeah, it was great. And
Sasaki Kojiro.
And then the fucking... What is it they called it on Crunchyroll? Swallow reversal is like...
That sounds rude.
I know, swallow reversal. In the Dean Fate Stay Night, they called it like Turning Swallow Strike, which is a better name.
Yep.
You know, to give him one thing, that's a better name. But I love that move as well because it feels like it's been plucked straight out of Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah.
Did you think he was pretty, Ebby?
Oh,
Assassin. He was like he was the closest thing in the show to Tarotachi.
But I couldn't help but feel like he was overcompensating for something, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, are you saying does that mean Tarotachi is overcompensating for something as well?
No, because Tarotachi is just big.
I did like how in like when they come back to him at the end, he does specifically mention that he wields an Odachi.
Yeah.
Though.
Did he? Because I fucking missed that completely.
No, the thing is though, it was like on Crunchyroll they did a typo because instead of saying an Odachi, it said a Nodachi.
No, that's a thing. No,
is that? Okay.
Nodachis are a thing.
Oh, never mind. I flipped it then. What's a
Flip it,
Nodachi
mate.
then?
A Nodachi is bigger than an Odachi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, why is
check.
Tarotachi not that then?
So.
Just random
sorry, no. Emily's correcting me. They're the same thing. So
Okay.
an Odachi and a Nodachi are the same
All right.
thing.
Okay, because I just assumed it was a typo.
Yeah.
Right, where were we?
Assassin, Ryo Temple, we finally meet Caster.
Yeah, this brings us into the caster stuff, which takes us for pretty much the entire rest of the first
Second
series.
half or
I was so scared that Caster was gonna be like Caster from Fate Zero,
No,
and it was
man.
gonna make me hate the series.
Caster's
It
a
was really
babe.
cool.
Yeah, she is.
I said cast the best girl on Twitter, and literally the salt just nearly killed me. Like, it suffocated in salt. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I love Caster. She's brilliant. Like, I don't understand why she gets so much hate. Like, somebody said that she's not a good villain, and I don't agree with that. She's not a compelling villain, but for her to not be a good villain would mean that she didn't get in the way of the protagonists, and she did by stealing their servants.
Yeah, she fucked. The thing is, like, what I loved about Caster is that what she brought to the route completely turned everything on its head from what you'd expect of like a standard like Holy Grail story, like compared to the Fate scenario, compared to Fate Zero, and that she just it literally broke the rules. That's what she did, and it ruined everything, and it was brilliant.
Rule breaker OP.
And couple that, like the fact that she's done that and wrecked everything, and then you couple that with the fact that her bloody master's more powerful than she is. It's like, oh, when he fights Saber, and it's like, what? He's fighting Saber.
Friggin' Soichiro is amazing. Like, ever since I watched the original Fate Stay Night and Soichiro turned up and was just wrecking shit with his fists, I was like, this guy is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And just the way he belts people, it's because I've noticed that they love that, that kind of massive impact noise.
Mm-hmm.
They use it at every opportunity they get, and with Soichiro, it was every time he attacked something. Bang! Bang! Bang!
And they got to do all of the crazy like wind and smoke effects around his hands and everything. Oh,
he was so good.
It was big cool. What did you think of Soichiro Ebi?
I'm not sure I know which one he is.
He's the teacher with the glasses.
Caster no Master.
I thought you would have referred to him as like the sensei, because that was just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, mate.
It's his brother. Well, not brother, but treat him as brother.
Brother from another mother.
I knew there was something up with him, like, immediately. I was like, wow, this guy looks like he's dead. He's probably, like, a master or something.
Yeah. Well, they very much hint it to you, because when Saber sees him for the first time at the start, when she goes to the school, she's like, oh, he's good at breathing.
I think the thing I liked about that is, like, when all was said and done and Caster was dead, like, Soichiro still continued to fight, and it shows the difference.
Continues to fight for like a second.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, well now he's just a normal bloke because he hasn't got Caster's support anymore, and Archer just literally goes,
yep.
Later, bro.
Yep.
I thought he was
cool.
interesting. Man. I don't know if I liked him, but I thought he was interesting. You know what I mean?
Can I also throw in that I really appreciate that they threw in some more backstory for both Castor and Soichiro in this.
Yeah.
Because that does not happen in anything at all.
Yeah,
you never get that.
The thing is, because in the novel, it was still assumed that Castor had a different master before, wasn't it? You just never knew anything about it.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like he still finds her, and those two are like hopelessly in love, like properly.
Yep.
And that's why they're so devoted to one another. And with how Castor acts and everything, that's not a case of like she's deceiving him. She is genuinely being true with everything, and she wants to do what she can for him because he saved her. He showed her genuine compassion.
It's just that she's going about it in a really shitty way.
She's going about it in the only way she knows how, I guess. She's breaking all the rules.
That backstory bit with the previous master was amazing, though. I did really like that. I love the bit when he's like, I've spent all this money and all this research on creating this facility to produce mana crystals. And then she's just like, this shit.
Yeah.
There you go.
As you can see, I put the person in the jam jar, turn him into jam, make a little crystal, have a bang on that, and she's just like, you called out a crystal.
She's just like, I don't even like jam.
I think this was one of the reasons why I actually liked Castor, though, was that little bit of backstory where she could have been like proper totes evil like the other Castor was.
Yeah.
And just like killed all the like people that they had lying around to make these mana crystals or whatever. But she was like, nah, freedom. There was no point. Let them go.
Because I mean,
she was cool.
She was sort of taking people's energy and stuff, but she was never killing anyone, which I guess where you could draw the line with her.
Yeah.
But in amongst all that stuff with them too, Shirou started using his abilities properly. He's like projecting his swords and stuff, and I'm just
the first projection was cool. I did like how they did that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love how they freaking. Well, we'll talk about animation at the end, and there's like so many good things to say about it, or whatever. But how they actually showed the trace.
Yeah.
Because basically in the adaptation in the visual novel is literally just a black screen with like white lines across it. And then when he goes ham, it's like white lines that are glowing yellow. But here it's just this cool 3D rendered crazy green shit, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Look at that green crystal-y stuff. That looks nice, doesn't it?
It's made of mana.
And then in cheeky episode 12, after we have our awesome date that was just darling, we get one of the bigger things of like everyone getting really mad at Shirou because of how naive and annoying he is and making everything wrong.
Yeah.
Right, here's my problem with Rin. I'll put this out there. Every time she went somewhere, she'd be like, no, I left Archer at home, like, I didn't think we'd need him. And then immediately she's like, shit, I can't get Archer.
He's not picking up his servant a phone.
When they were going back on the bus, and she couldn't get back, and she couldn't get Archer, I'm like, this is about the second time this has happened. You should learn to take him with you. And also, like, the animation around that point got a bit weird, because it had, like, when the bridge, there was a bridge and some water, and I was like, fucking hell, that looks bad.
Yeah.
That just looks really bad.
The water and the skeletons in episode 12 look fucking awful.
Yeah.
Like,
it
might not be that they look that bad, but just by comparison to everything else, they look fucking shite. It was just like, oh, and it was just this episode, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
My immediate thought was, I bet Alan's gonna love this.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there and I'm just like sitting on my high horse.
Yes.
my hoodoo horse. Going like, yes, ufotable, everything they do is amazing. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think they planned that far ahead for those guys.
Skill just asked in the chat about Shirou and how like he talked in the whole show about how he could only do strengthening and then all of a sudden he could do projection. The thing with that was Shirou did learn how to do projection, but then his dad told him, don't do that, it's shit, do this instead. So he practices strengthening for like all of his life. And then they mentioned that one thing towards the end of his fight with Archer, where every time they cross blows, Shirou like takes a bit of Archer's skill. So the fact that he knows projection, and then like Archer battered him that one time at Ryudo Temple, and then he goes to do projection, it's just like suddenly he can do it again, even though he's not tried it for ages.
Yeah.
So.
And there's a lot more of that gets gone into in Fate with him actually learning how to do all this shit. And again, that's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's assumed if you've done the first half, and it's hard to put all that in this adaptation or whatever.
Yeah. Well, the whole concept of copying, like making copies of something, is dealt with more in Fate, I believe.
Yeah.
Because he actually tries to copy a noble phantasm, which he does in this, but it doesn't go into detail.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Caster shows up, shit goes wrong, and then our poor heroes are left alone with Archer, and Saber's gone bye-bye.
God,
Bye, Saber.
oh, when that happened, I'd slightly forgotten how it went down. Like, Shirou, man, you're such a moron sometimes.
He's a kid.
He's a kid.
He
Okay,
made a mistake,
it's like,
man.
he's like, okay, take my arm. Okay, Saber, stop that. Okay, come on, Seal. Okay, Rule Breaker. Okay, bye-bye, Saber. Okay, bye-bye me from the tournament. Okay, oh fuck. Fuck, what did I... Oh, bugger. And then he's like, I'm just gonna carry on like nothing happened. I'm
I think it
fucking Shirou.
I think it just proves more than anything, though, his inexperience with all of this stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if he executed that fight perfectly and got out of there with his arm and with Saber, I would have been a bit like, hang on, this kid was only a proper mage 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and then there's the fact that he's just a stubborn bastard,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
which is one thing that I love about him. Like it did get a bit mental later on when Archer's like, if you carry on down this path, you'll become me, and I'm a twat. and Shirou's like, nah, mate, I'm gonna keep doing it. I was a bit like, really?
He's just like,
Really?
I'm me, mate.
But at least in like the first half, before all that kicks off, I was like, yeah, man, he's a stubborn ass, and I love it. Sticking to his guns.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask the question of why, when they were trying to like break Saber's will, why she was bound by her hands like this, bent over in a dress that was lifted up over her. So, like, why?
Because it's
because-
hot.
Yeah, it's because Caster's a kinky bitch. That's literally all it is.
Pretty much.
It's
So, like,
basically
is
so
there
they
a
could...
reason for this, or
It's
is
so
it
they
just
can sell a
No.
figure of Saber in that outfit.
Yeah.
In
bent
that
over
pose.
with the dress lifted up over her, so that she's probably like butt just hanging out everywhere.
There's lots of garage kits of that exact pose, I'm pretty sure.
Probably. I would imagine.
Hmm.
I wasn't complaining.
Eh.
But yeah, Caster's weird. Like she in other routes, she kidnaps other girls and does similar things
Yeah.
for no reason that's really explained.
It's because she
Yeah.
loves it.
Yeah, it's because she's just all about kinkying girls up.
Evidently.
and then we have Archer being all like, right,
See you later, Rin.
it's coup d'etat time.
Yep.
At that point, I was just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I don't know what's going on. Is this a plan that these two have? Because she's really upset, so I don't feel like it's a plan that these two have. But why would
And it
Archer
was a
do
plan,
that?
he just didn't fill her in
Yeah.
of the plan. And it wasn't a plan that was going to ever end how she would have planned it to.
Yep.
But yeah, that shit happens. And
Yes. Archer's a cunt.
I was
No,
like, oh
they
shit,
have
no,
the-
I can't not like you because I've bought a figure of you already.
You were already invested.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
already invested. I have to like you. I can't
Mhm.
not like you. It's not allowed.
and then we get onto the pro bit when Shirou and Rin run off to talk to Ilia. First of all, when they try and get into the forest, and when Rin
Oh,
blooming
God.
steps on it and does a backflip.
I could not stop laughing.
That was
I
amazing.
actually had to pause the episode to finish laughing
Because
before I
Rin's
carried
adorable.
on.
And it was amazing.
At that point, I was like, if I had been given an out of this war, and I wasn't dead, I'd take it. I wouldn't bother like pressing matters any further. I'd just be like, nah, I'm out. See you later.
Nah, what you'd be like is you'd be like, Archer, can I come with you? I miss you.
Archer, please,
I miss
don't
you,
do
Archer.
this. No.
I got magic crystals. I can make cool tea with them.
Yeah.
And so Shinji falls from the sky.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
on his face.
One of the best scenes in the show.
And then
And
we. Oh.
then Giggles shows up and
Yep.
everything's wrong.
Mhm.
Everything gets sad again.
And Heracles gets
I felt
battered.
I felt like the scene with Ilia was so fucking brutal, where he like cut her eyes and she was like, "Oh, I can't
Yeah.
see." I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Fucking hell, this is horrible."
Speaking of tie-ins to Fate Zero, fucking Ilia backstory. Holy
Yeah.
Yep, that
That
was not in it
wasn't a thing
before.
either.
That
Oh,
That was weird as well.
yeah, it was.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Expla-
like for
it
kid.
explains why she goes from being sweet and adorable to being a bit fucked up, though.
Now
Yep.
I'm assuming was that wasn't in her head, was it? Was that like Angramanu Irie or something?
I believe so. Yes, I believe that was the previous container
Previous container
possessing
making yeah,
or something like that.
it's waddling in there.
Yep.
You're like, I'm Irie. I'm adorable. Look how cute I am, whilst made out of the burning poo that kills children.
but in another universe, she was a magical girl, so we can.
Yeah, and she made
Right.
owls. Yeah.
Owls. You need to
Oh.
watch that, Ebby, because she dresses up like Archer.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why that would be relevant, but I feel like it is.
It does
I mean,
happen. Yes.
I mean, I'll
It
watch
does
it.
happen.
You
You're
know,
gonna watch it now.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to watch it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
I've already watched it.
Are you kidding me? I'm caught up to date.
Yeah, poor Leah.
That was harsh though when she died and she was looking for Heracles. Like,
It did feel like it was a bit of a letdown, I suppose, because obviously you have the initial fight with Ilia and Berserker, and it's like, right, this guy and this girl, this combo, they're nails, yeah. And then they get to the fight with them at the castle, and they just die in the span of an
Yeah.
episode.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
Gilgamesh in it,
Yeah,
and
true.
they also needed them to like execute their plan, so it couldn't have been that easy. Like,
Give me your
Yeah.
crystal heart,
Yeah.
so I can put it in this asshole.
Man. Watching Berserker get wrecked though.
That's sad.
And also, like, another one of the flashbacks that they put in there that wasn't there before is just is her summoning Berserker and all the stuff
Yeah.
with that, because
Right.
that's never been in there.
That scene with Ilia and the wolves and when Berserker saves
Yeah.
him, is considering Berserker, it was strangely adorable.
Yeah, man, it was
Yeah.
cute.
Oh yeah, that was like
Oh,
the one thing
Berserker,
I
you're
saw.
such a
Someone-
darling.
Someone actually did kind of a analysis on all of that, and it's like Ilia had lost her father figure, so Hercules became her father figure, and Hercules like killed his children, so Ilia became like his surrogate daughter, and just like I read that after I watched that episode, and I cried a bit more.
It does make sense, man.
Yeah.
Oh. It just feels.
Yeah.
It always felt weird, like when I first played it and everything, to see Berserker get that destroyed.
hmm
'Cause it's fucking
But, I mean-
Berserker.
Also goes to show how bloody OP Gilgamesh is.
Yeah, he
Holy
is.
crap.
until Shirou shows up.
Yeah, and
The fatal flaw is that you've got lots of weapons, but you're not very good with them.
Oh no!
Guess what? I've got lots of weapons too, and I'm not very good with them either.
Can you imagine? So basically, I will defeat you because I'm just as shit as you are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you imagine if you just took that entire scene and transposed it so it was just Kiritsugu instead?
Yeah.
You've got lots of swords and you're not very good with them. I have guns. Yay!
Faker.
Fake.
That's what Gilgamesh was doing for 10 years. He was watching LCS. That's the League of Legends reference, if anyone didn't know. Anyway.
I wish I knew more about League so I could make some kind of like
basically
gate of.
Basically, Faker is a guy who is like considered the god of League of Legends, or was for a long time anyway. So when then there's that bit where Gilgamesh just walks past Archer and goes Faker, I was like, someone's really...
And he just be like lanes of Babylon.
Yeah, exactly.
there you go, you did it, Alan.
Yeah, I did it. I know like three things. I know
You
lanes.
made a League of Legends reference.
I know champions. I know Ari because there's an android, and I know ganking mid.
Let's face it.
That's about what I know. as well.
Let's face it. The Holy Grail War is just a convoluted game of League of Legends.
Yep,
Pretty much.
something like that.
Wouldn't that be great if it all turned out to be like an adaptation?
Oh,
Can you imagine if Type Moon made a MOBA?
in before Fate Stay Night MOBA.
That'd be amazing. I'd stop
Rails in
playing
the middle.
MOBAs
You
then.
gotta fight for it.
I can only dream of that. I mean, we have
Man,
Grand.
their ultimates could be their noble phantasms. Can you imagine playing as Gilgamesh and she'd be like, "Oh my leash!"
Oh,
Just
God.
playing as Gilgamesh and being like, "Oh baby, a triple! Oh yeah!" fucker!
DC
Mom,
David.
get the camera!
DC David in chat said when Gilgamesh said faker, I thought he said fucker.
Fucker.
Hates him with bit of fucker.
I mean, essentially.
Bye, Alan.
I was just getting my phone.
He's like, I'm gonna go play this MOBA now.
No man, you know exactly what I've gone to get.
Everyone should.
Oh,
may,
he's gone to get his app.
Boo, 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 boo.
Everyone should may or may not play.
Right,
Any-
enough of that. So
this-
Gil's all like, here's Ilia, I'm gonna rip her heart out, banging. And then he's like, oh Shinji, do you want it?
Fucking becomes Akira.
Yeah. And it didn't look as funny as, well, say for example, this. It still looked pretty funny.
Help
Yeah.
me!
I'm stuck in a
hurts.
big marshmallow and I cannot get out. I am a Shinji.
I felt that was so satisfying because I fucking hated that guy. I really
Yep.
did.
It's just like,
Everyone.
Yeah,
Oh.
you turn into a blister. Yeah.
But before that happens, we have versus Caster take 3.
Oh
And
god, yeah.
Yeah.
good guy
yeah.
Lancer
And
shows
Lancer
on
shows up. I fucking love Lancer. Because I got a gay
Lancer's
bulge for that guy.
such a goddamn bro, man.
Bulge.
He's just such a good character in this show.
I was
Yeah.
pissed off that I figured out that Kotomine was his master because I fucking hate Kotomine. And I was just like, I don't want to know this. Just take this knowledge away from me. I don't want to know.
The thing I like about Lancer, and what I've always loved about Lancer since I first got into Fate Stay Night, is just how Gay Volge works. Because the whole reason why Gay Volge can't miss is because it pierces you before he chucks it.
Yep.
That's what they mean by a cause effect reversal. It hits you before he throws it,
That's
What?
pretty amazing.
and that's why it can't miss.
Yep.
Even though it kind of
Even though he throws it before it hits you, it doesn't
Yup.
make any sense.
Yeah, I think the reason why you would have been able to cut on to, I'm assuming Kyrie being his master was
It's 'cause he was
because of the
hanging out
scene
on
with
the-
Shinji. Was
no,
it?
it's because he
Okay.
was hanging out on the church roof when Castor went to attack the church.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And Lancer was just like hanging out there, and I'm like, oh,
It's
does
just
that
'cause-
mean that like the reason that he's there is because of Kotomine?
Yeah.
Because that makes me so sad if it is.
Because to me, the reason where they properly tipped it off was when Shinji's like, give this to Lancer's master, and he's like, give this to Lancer's master, you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Because that's another spoiler for another video
Yeah.
level.
And so frickin', and then they've got cheeky little next fight with Lancer and Archer, and he chucks it, and he's like, I can throw it now.
And then
Yeah.
it shows up and it's like, ah.
Because it's like every single fight, like every time that Lancer and Archer fight is just the best, just better than
Yeah.
everything else.
Come on.
I just loved how it was just like, I wasn't allowed to actually fight you before, and now.
Orbital strike. How close are we to Shirou versus Archer? It's got to be soon, right?
Fairly soon now.
Yes.
It's pretty much the next bit, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
we go.
So
Because
mad at myself.
because Archer does his flipperoo. He's like he freaking kills off Caster and stuff, and he's like, oh, I was on your side all along.
Except
but not.
I'm not.
Yup.
Because my whole strategy all along, my whole plan was just to kill Shirou.
Yep. Pretty much.
And I was like, hang on, you have had so many opportunities to do this.
Whoa! It's because he didn't know yet.
Oh, did he not realise?
No, it's
okay.
it's because he had this incomplete summoning, and it took him a while to figure out who he was.
Ah, okay.
So that's why he had
yeah.
so many opportunities at the start, but he didn't know who he was yet. And then by the time he'd cottoned onto it, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill myself."
I
I'm so
forgot
mad
about
at
that.
myself because I think I realised it at the last moment before I actually told you, like where I don't even remember what it was that set it off. But they'd been hinting at it, like with the pendant and stuff.
Yep.
Didn't click.
Yeah.
And there was just one bit where like. Shirou was in bed and like got up, and I just suddenly thought about this figure that I've ordered. Basically got Shirou's head on Archer's body, and I
Like
was
that-
like, "Oh my god, they're the same person."
Like they were not fucking subtle about it in this one. Like
No,
like
they were
like when
not.
when I
The
played
thing
the
is, they
visual
were-
novel, I didn't cotton on at all. But here, like, they give you so many hints that
They
weren't
do.
there originally.
I think the whole thing with the pendant I thought was quite clever.
Yeah.
And subtle. Like only if you were really looking for it and kind of thought, hang on a minute. You know, it would have been
Yeah.
nice if they'd kept it that level of subtle, like the odd little things. But
Yeah.
they did.
Oh,
They
it's
did
when Archer
start
was like
laying it on
saying
thick.
trace on and whatever.
Yeah,
It's
like
like,
Archer
why
says.
did he say
The thing
that?
is, Archer says trace on in the fucking epilogue. No, the prologue. You just don't hear him because you see
Yeah.
him right before he makes his swords. You see him very clearly mouth trace on. Obviously,
Yeah.
you're only going to know it if you're looking for it. But I saw that, I was like, "Pff, this early? You're giving us away this early?" And then
Yeah.
they just pretty much show you in the second opening, with them both being in the reality marble, like both in the same pose and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Just gonna say this again because I don't know what's going on in chat. I'm just seeing the word "is that in Heaven's Feel." Please do not spoil anything that is not what we're talking
Yeah.
about today. Please.
We've
the
already
love of God.
we've already mentioned this at the start. We are just talking about Unlimited Blade Works, so calm your tits.
If we can.
Because I'm not reading chat. I just saw, is this like a Heaven's Feel thing? And I'm like, no,
no, stay away.
no, stay away. What were we talking about?
well,
Archer
I
does the
think-
flipperoo.
Archer and Shirou.
Then we find out who he is because he basically more or less says it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's at
Yeah,
this
so-
point that he just goes, yeah, I'm you, bro.
He's like,
I
it's
did
me,
not-
Shiro.
I did not know that was the fucking twist. Like,
What were you
well,
expecting the
didn't-
twist to
I
be?
didn't know that servants could be from the future as well.
Well, this
so
is-
it's
this
is
just
the
like,
thing, like,
Archer's
you know-
some like nobody from the past, I guess.
You know when I mentioned earlier, the one thing I like about this is how they play around with the formula of servants being heroes, like they did with
Yeah.
Sakaki Kojiro. That's the other thing I like about this, the concept of heroes can come from fucking anywhere. It's just that normally, when they explain it, the catalyst is used on our side to summon something from the past. And the whole point that Rin didn't use a catalyst drew Shiro in, or drew Emiya in,
Well,
because he had the catalyst in the future.
Didn't
Yeah,
she?
well,
Well,
she
I'm
did
assuming
kinda
her side of the her pendant would have been near her or around her while she was
Yeah.
doing the summoning as well.
yeah.
I think it's just. I think that was ineffectual. I think it's just the fact
Okay.
that because Emiya had that pendant and that was a connection to Rin, it's just it works in reverse
Yeah.
for some reason. But yeah, I thought that was quite cool. How there's someone from the future. I can understand why they don't do it very often because
Yeah.
they've had to base so much shit on this.
Yeah.
And also, I suppose it wouldn't be as fun. Like if you had a random hero come in and be like, "Oh, I'm so and so from the future," I guess that wouldn't be as compelling.
I am
'cause you've not got
RoboCop.
Yeah, you haven't got mythology to like fall back on.
No, amazing. It's like, who are you? Velveto Waver.
I'd
Where-
be like, yeah.
Like just Waver as a hero, but just like full rider garb with that
Yeah.
fucking t-shirt on. It's like, you Alexander the Great. It's like, nah, man. I'm Waver the Great.
Wave of velvet.
Yeah. So then we go on to Shiro versus Archer.
Yeah, man.
Just a-
episode that before they were actually fighting, where they just fucking talked. It was like
Yeah.
talking for 20 minutes, and I
Yeah.
was like,
Can,
this-
can,
this-
can one of you guys who are more boned up on it just explain what the fuck is the deal with being a guardian? Because like
Okay.
that didn't make much sense to me. Like, is it just like they're a thing that exists to protect people? But what?
Yes. Basically, what happened with Shiro was that towards the end of his life, he did not have the power to become a heroic spirit on his own. So he made a deal with the world, not Dio Brando, but he made a deal with the world to get that power in order to become a heroic spirit. But in return, all of his afterlife, he would be a guardian, which goes through time to prevent humanity from basically destroying itself.
Okay.
Which is why you see
Right.
Archer going through and just like sniping terrorists in
terrorists.
Alcatraz.
I'm assuming it's at that point when his hair changes colour.
Yeah.
it looked
Okay,
like
so
it was
that
in the
would-
desert, like
Yeah.
when.
I suppose that would be
When he
that
got
would
real
make sense then, because if he was forced after death to kind of commit atrocities to stop atrocities, that would fuck with his whole
Yeah.
I
Yep.
have to save everyone thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have
That
a
makes-
question about why he was hung. Like, do we know why he was hung? Because I don't quite understand.
I think
No, that
it was
was
used
not-
as a scapegoat, I think, for some reason. Like
Yeah.
it was. I think it's a very similar deal to Angraminyu, which I won't discuss because that's different shit. But yeah, I think he was used as a scapegoat at some point and killed, or well, removed for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It was like when Connor got hung almost in Assassin's Creed 3.
Wait, no. Yeah, I thought you were talking about like Connor who cheated.
No.
I was like, what?
Well, Connor's hung, but that's a different topic
Yeah.
altogether.
Another time.
But yeah, okay, that makes a bit more sense then.
Yeah.
My concentration was waning at that
Yeah.
point, so I just
But
needed
man,
a bit of clarification.
So I was super looking forward to this Shirou and Archer fight, and it was pro. But Jesus Christ, they did a lot of fucking talking in the middle of it.
Yeah, they did.
Because they start doing their thing here and there. Fucking Emiya starts playing. I'm like, yeah, Emiya.
This rendition of Emiya was really good as well.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Oh, also I didn't
We'll talk
mention
more about
in
the soundtrack.
yeah, I'll mention it quickly now. Move on again later. In episode 12, where they play the Dean Adaptation's opening.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
got me here, man.
Yeah,
that
I was
got me here.
like, do, and I was like, yes, thank you, show. You
Nostalgia.
understand
Oh
me.
my god.
As someone who's like a complete fake noob, watching you guys freak out about stuff like this is really funny.
A lot.
The fact is as well, that happens immediately. Isn't that after Ilia dies as well? So you've got Ilia death feels immediately followed by the Dean opening. It was just like,
Yeah.
Do.
But yeah, they did do a lot of talking. Because if
Yeah.
I remember the visual novel correctly, like they did do a lot of talking, but because that's a visual novel, but more or less it was implied that the swords did more of the talking than they did.
Yeah, I think the thing is about just Type Moon visual novels in general, there are bits where it'll just sort of take a step back from what's happening in the now and just give you some fuck off info dump that takes you probably somewhere in the realm of an hour and a half to 2 hours to read. Like frickin' Hollow Atraxia is worse for that. Like I'm just playing that game. I just get to some bit and it just like something that just didn't feel at all relevant to anything. Just going through the entire complete history of everything that's happened in one of these spirits' pasts from birth till death. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. That's a lot of it. That's a lot of stuff going into my noodle.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then it's like, too long didn't read, he had a shit life, and that's why he's evil.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Pretty much.
But, the fight itself, when they actually got down to it was pretty pro.
Oh yeah.
It was somewhat sugoi. And the reason why I've put that image on the layout was because I really like that bit, where they sort of take a free moment, and it's just like, just seeing them side by side, it just felt really cool.
Yeah.
And
That
everything
was
like that.
That was probably one of my favorite moments in
Mm-hmm.
the fight, other than Shiro being like, okay, like, I see everything that you're saying, but you're also a twat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hence the wonderful quote of "just because you're correct
Doesn't mean you're right. Yeah,
I
That's
so
so
can't help
fucking
but,
Shiro.
like I can't help but feel that these are idioms that make a lot more sense in Japanese than they do when they're directly translated
I
into
think
English.
it's just that these are idioms that make a lot more sense if you're fucking Shiro Emiya.
Yeah.
People die.
I think they've
Yep.
make that into a running joke though. Ever since people die when they are killed, there are examples of
Oh.
Shiro saying shit like
No,
this in
absolutely.
every single fake thing.
No, like, there's a thing in Fake Light, I think it's, like, one of the most recent episodes, it's just like, on your birthday, you celebrate your birthday.
Yeah. I think they just made it into a massive joke now.
Oh,
Wouldn't
I
Shiro.
surprise me.
guarantee it. I guarantee it.
He's such a stubborn ass bellend, but I can't bring myself to hate him. So many people
Sorry.
fucking despise
I love
Shiro.
Shi-
I can't bring myself to hate the guy.
I
You
love
just
Shiro. Like, Shiro has always been one of my favourite characters in the entire franchise. And I don't know why. I just do. Because he's great. And I think when I was
he
younger,
wants to be a Seigi no Mikata.
Yeah, when I first watched Fate Stay Night, I was like 16, 17, and I guess I just kind of connected with him a little bit, because he was like, I want to be a hero of justice, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that as well. And I've never lost that, no matter how old and jaded I become. I'm
just
just
wants
like,
to-
yeah,
he
Shiro,
just wants to
you
do
keep
what-
being a hero of justice, you do that.
He wants to do what Kiritsugu Daddy couldn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't make me sad. I want to know what happened to him. What happened to him?
Who, Kiritsugu?
Kiritsugu, fuck knows.
He just died.
Yeah, I think he probably just died of old or something.
Yeah, it's like
He got ill. I think he just got ill and died.
Yeah,
Like,
he didn't die of anything particularly interesting, I don't think.
no.
I like how they like clearly made like they made heirs to the fact that him and Fujine had something going on.
Mm.
And she was like, "You never took me to the."
that
Yeah,
made
see what
sense.
you know what happened to Kiritsugu is he went to Sainsbury's, right? There were these two girls in there. They went up to him and they held guns to each of their heads and they said, "Kill yourself or we'll both kill ourselves." And they were like, "Shit, that's 2 against 1. All right." My logic is just blowing in my peeper.
Oh yeah, that was a added scene that made me really sad. Was Taiga going on her date? Oh
Yeah. I like how they added that in and kind of made that thing of saying, yeah, they had something going on.
yeah.
Which
Whether
was-
it was just kind of like a one-sided respect kind of thing, or just like
or not, it was still nice to see.
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
they did that
you've
whole
got
that.
the
The thing is, she did that whole thing at his grave, where she was like, "You never did take me to the beach,"
Yeah.
or something to that effect. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm assuming apparently Kiritsugu got killed by the curse of the Grail. A couple of people have said that.
Oh
Curse
yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
Grail. So basically, he ate some black poo.
Yeah.
I mean, basically. But getting back
Nah,
on the
man.
topic.
It's like Callium said, he went for a cheeky Nando's and the banter was too great and it
Yep.
killed him. Them sick bants, man. Oh, have we lost Alan again?
What? No.
Oh no, we're okay. You froze, and I was like, shit,
Okay.
have we lost you again?
Did you hear me
Yeah,
say noble
same.
bantasm though? Because that was
No,
really
you
funny.
didn't.
That was
That was
funny
you.
jokes. Unlimited banter works.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But, getting back on the topic of Shiro, one thing I really appreciated about this adaptation was how they handled his like survivor's guilt and PTSD, because that's the one thing I don't think was really touched upon in even the visual novel, was just like how actually fucked up this kid is. It's not
Yeah.
just him being stupid and naive. He's actually like this way because he has mental problems.
Yeah, they definitely give you more of a reason as to why Shiro is the way he is, and how he knows that like he's wrong in many regards, but he has to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Yeah,
the
but he acknowledges that. Like, it's like when Rin's talking to him, he's like, yeah, everything you're saying is completely correct, but fuck you.
yeah.
Oh yeah, basically it's like what you're saying is right, but I am also right, because like how can helping people be
It's
bad?
the fact he just says this is something that I have to do. Like, it doesn't matter how much logic or reason you throw at me, I have to do this.
Yeah.
My brain will not let me do anything else. To the point where even when I'm presented with my absolute ideal being this horrible person who I hate, even that can't stop me. Like,
Yeah.
being face to face with my own causality doesn't change what I am,
And
because
just
that's
like-
how I'm wired.
And it's Archer's presence and the interactions that they have that make Shiro so much more interesting, and that fill in the blanks of his character a lot more, because like people watch like Fate Root Dean Adaptation and they're just like, Shiro's a fucking knob, Christ.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then you watch this and you're like, okay, Shiro's a knob, but I know why he's a knob, and I love him.
It's like
I just want to cuddle him.
Just tell him it's okay.
it's like one of the things that gets said when he gets saved by Kiritsugu. One of the things that he says is he's like, I can't remember if he says he's jealous of Kiritsugu because of how happy he is to see someone alive. Because he's like, surely I should be feeling that because I'm the one who's been saved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
was something to that regard, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, well, that surely having that kind of conflict at such a young age, that would fuck you up a little bit.
Yeah.
And to be honest, just like Shiro and Fate scenario, the kid's based like he's so chivalrous to the point where he's bloody sexist.
Yeah.
It's like Saber, yeah, you're not allowed to go and get hurt because you're a girl. I don't care that you're a magic king god crazy sword lady. You're a girl. I'm gonna look after you.
The thing is, part of me wonders, even if they made Saber a guy, I think he would have done the same thing.
Yeah,
He wouldn't
probably.
have given
yeah.
a shit.
Probably. But that's another thing I really appreciate. I appreciate a lot of things about this adaptation. That's another thing I appreciate of like how they re-guided that, and it's not like it's a girl, she can't be fighting. It's I made a promise to her. We have like this we have this camaraderie between us. I can't just go abandon her like that. That's not okay.
Yeah.
And I was like,
He's just a cool guy. Like, Shirou is the kind of guy who's like, I want to be your friend.
yeah,
Because if someone tries to mug me, you know.
yeah, well, obviously
No, it's
that.
just-
But if I'm obviously stuck, he'll actually come for me. And if I'm just like, hey man, like, I lost all of my money and I'm stuck at the airport. Can you come get me? He'll be like, all right, I'll be right there in a jiffy.
Yeah.
It's like,
I like
you're,
Shirou.
dude.
Yeah. Do you want to say some more things, Ebby? Because you've been a bit quiet for a bit whilst we've been a bit going ham on the kid.
Shirou was sweet. Like there was a bit where he was like showing Saber his strengthening magic, and then he's like, "Oh, it's not going very well. I split this rock in half, but let me show you, I'm really good with knives."
Speaking of foreshadowing all of this,
I like how when we were talking
yeah.
on I like how when we were talking on Skype you were like, I'm not sure what I think about Shirou, and then at the end you were like, yeah, he's lovely.
I mean, he's the kind of person you want as a friend. He might piss you off sometimes. You might want to slap him sometimes.
It's like Shirou, yeah. He's a stubborn twat, but at least when I need him, he's there.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He'd definitely get up at 6 a.m. to queue for the bring and buy for you so you could go to breakfast.
Like,
yeah.
He's Kinross.
Yeah.
Just with less of a beard.
Yep. And I haven't checked, but I don't think Kinross has a reality marble. He's got a
We don't
Wii U.
know that.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. What his reality marble is Splatoon.
Yeah. I am the bone of my body, and Captain Cuttlefish is my blood.
Enough in jokes. Let's talk about Fate some more.
Okay, so
yeah.
Ebby, would you like to kick us off here on what you thought of episode 21?
Remind me what happens in episode 21.
Gilgamesh talks about what's inside the Grail.
Wait, have we gone past the part where fucking what? Archer pushes Shirou out of the way of. Has that not happened yet?
That
Yes.
happens. That's just happened right before this, basically.
How did Archer survive that?
Oh, what? Gilgamesh?
Yeah.
My
Because fuck
assumption.
you.
My
Basically.
assumption is that he like got hit by it, but he dematerialized before it could kill him.
Yeah.
But it's not really explained. That's just my assumption.
I'm assuming he wanted to make it seem as though he was dead, so Gilgamesh didn't try
Fucking
and
fooled
get rid of
me,
him.
knob.
Yeah.
Were you like, oh no?
Oh, Archer.
The thing
Like,
is that
you're so
with me, I
young.
was like, nah, man, he can't be dead because they got to do that scene where his hair's down. See, I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to
Where
do that
does that
thing
hair
that's
come
on. He's got a pose for the true ending picture, which is on the CR gate from the set.
Oh
There's
yeah,
two ending
yeah.
images on the gate from the West set.
He's all like,
Yep.
I'm Shirou, but with white
But
hair.
yeah, I seem to remember you having some issues with this info dump, Ebby, from what I could tell.
I didn't know what the fuck was going
Because
on.
it's because this is the point that I like to call the rabbit hole, and it happens in every single Fate thing that I've consumed. And it's I mentioned this in the Fate Zero episode. As soon as the Grail becomes a thing, everything just goes out the window. Like they can explain it as much as they want, but it's still not going to make any fucking sense. Because it's the Grail, and it just seems to be this thing that's beyond explanation.
I was just like, what happened to Angramanu?
Yeah.
It's there. They just never mention it by name again.
Because Angramanu comes back again.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just not apparently here, unless Gilgamesh just has the wrong idea, or this particular vessel is like that. Because the Grail is full of horrible magic. That's how it's always been, and it's a weapon.
Yeah.
I think
melt
the problem
everyone.
the problem is the way I watched it as well, because at this point I'd watched 6 episods or whatever so far, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm sort of ready to take a break, but I can't because I need to be finished by tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't really understand what Gilgamesh is trying to tell me right now.
Like in layman's terms, what he's basically saying is that it's full of incredibly powerful, incredibly evil energy that you can try and harness for good means, but isn't really going to work because it's primarily an evil force.
Basically, what I get from this whole anime is that the Grail Wars, Holy Grail Wars, are a bit bullshit.
Yep.
Like, nothing turns out well. All a bit bullshit. Probably don't bother doing that next time.
In regards to, just going back a little bit, in regards to Archer surviving, Antivirus made a good point. It could have been that the counterforce saved him, because because the counterforce needed him to be alive to stop Gilgamesh.
That's
Would
a
that
fair
work?
point.
Does that make sense?
I guess so.
That's a fair point.
It would explain like why there was all that blue shit, because the blue shit seemed to be representative of like when he did the flashback, when he appeared and disappeared in different timelines. It was the same sort of effect. So that's worked. And then the other option is he's alive because he's Gar, which I prefer.
Yes. That is entirely correct.
So we had our big like. It must have been like, was it like 10 minutes or something of Gilgamesh talking?
Can I
Basically,
say,
it was a
I
lot,
remember liking
but-
Gilgamesh a lot in Fate Zero. He's a fucking knob in this. Like,
Yeah, he is.
there's nothing redeemable about him. He's just a fucking knob. Apart from his
Okay.
abs. That'd be great.
Apart from
Which we don't even know if he still has.
yeah,
Is it-
Well,
I
he
suppose
definitely doesn't anymore because Shirou like sliced them, so
Yeah.
they're
Cut
no
his
good now.
cut his abs off. Do you reckon that's how he became so buff? He stole Gilgamesh's abs.
Maybe.
Just
Oh,
glued,
no,
just glued them onto himself.
Gilgamesh didn't have them anymore because he'd been sitting there, fucking big bag of Doritos, can of Monster, every night, grinding out just sponsors, man. He's a streamer.
I would
Then he
actually
real-
pay to see that.
That's
Type Moon
why he got
April
so
Fool's
angry,
joke.
because he saw everyone else was doing the same thing and was like, I can't have this. I'm the only streamer allowed on Twitch.
Yeah.
Too many of these streamers.
Okay, I'll send a very long-winded email to Type Moon as to why that should be their next April Fool's prank next year. Just Gilgamesh gaming stream.
Antivirus just said he traced his abs. Trace on.
He copied them.
That'd be amazing. He just basically like goes to a bodybuilding contest, see whoever looks the buffest, and just like copies them and just walks out.
Yep.
That is one thing I always wondered, like, I guess it was going to be far too advanced for Shirou, but wouldn't it have been amazing if he could just reinforce himself? Just go like that, and then just suddenly become this just nails.
He'd be like bloody Greed
Yeah.
from FMA.
If I remember correctly, he does mention something right at the start in that he can't do organic things because they're too complicated for him. But it would have been cool at least.
Because
Yeah.
what if he did it to celery? Or a carrot.
On!
Or an apple, and he just starts throwing apple cannonballs at people. It's like, ow, fuck off! Oh god, you just broke one of my phantasms with a big crazy
With a
strengthened
freaking
apple. And then he'd just be like, no, actually no, what he'd do is he'd like, you just broke one of my phantasms, what did you break it with? Pinedis.
Oh my god! Pineapple!
Boom. I like apple. Anyway, next episode, right? Mana transfer.
Yes.
Oh, we get to see Rin and Shirou, which is the best thing ever.
Yeah, we do. We don't get to see
I
any
like
more
how
though.
she was like, "I'll take my shirt off too, so it's fine," and then it's just like,
I just
in
want
this
to I just want to
90s, I'm
harken
like,
this back. Right, we're talking about people getting naked, and one thing that we have skirted over is when they suspected Issei of being cast as
Oh,
master,
God. That
and
was
then
my favourite thing
Shirou
ever.
just comes in and is like, Issei, I need you to do something for me. Take your top off.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And then he literally just takes his top off, like wrestles his top off, and Issei's there with this like massive blush on his face, being like, dude, what the fuck?
Oh, Issei.
I completely forgot that scene was a thing.
That's
until,
it's so
like,
good.
No, until like Shiro was just like, "Don't worry, I'll do something about it." And then I remembered it right there. I was like, "Oh, are they actually though?" And they
Thing
did.
is though, he goes, yeah, it's alright, I took his top off and I couldn't find any command seals. What if they were on his arse?
What
Can
if
you
they-
imagine that? Someone being like, well, I order you by the command seal, drop tray.
No, they just do the freaking pose that Shimakaze does in the opening for Kantai, where she just goes,
Arse.
No,
Oh,
that's
so
actually
good.
in a Fate Extra. That's an NPC dialogue where it's just like, "Oh, your command seal's on your hand. That's cool. Mine's a tramp stamp."
That's awesome.
But yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So look, I just need to ask this question: mana transfer, like the whole thing with the seal, were they supposed to have sex?
yeah,
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
straight
right.
up. They had
That's-
sex
I-
twice, and I don't
assumed
know what they
so.
did with the other time.
When was the
No,
when was the other time they were supposed to have sex?
I think you're referring to Heaven's Field.
Do they only have sex once in Unlimited Blade
in
Works?
UBW, yeah.
I swear there are at least 2 per route.
No. No. There's one in UBW, and then there's like 500 in Heaven's Feel.
Yeah, I know there's 2 in Fate.
Yes.
Heaven's Feel is
So,
like
so basically, you unlock you get a little bit of porn, and you get a little bit of porn, and then you unlock Heaven's Feel, which is like, yeah, you've got this far, have all the porn.
pretty much. Fucking Sakura, man. Literally.
Yeah, jackhammering mana transfer. That was that's a thing.
But I've got to say, how they dealt with them not having sex, because initially I was like, it's ufotable. They've shown like dark and mature things in the past. They could just put a sex scene in it. They don't have to show any fannies or anything. It's fine. But they didn't, and they did it in a way that didn't feel too weird. I guess like, there was no CGI dragon. There was no falling into a pit.
To be honest, I was surprised that they didn't at least do, oh, we have to kiss. Like, I thought that was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's how they did it in the film, but I can't remember. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we got a little bit of thing where, I mean, we could honestly even like potentially infer that they did have sex. It just happened whilst Shirou was out cold.
I guess for me, like, I feel like that would be a bit much, because like their relationship, the way it's developed throughout the anime at least, that would have been a bit of a massive jump.
Bit of a jump, yeah.
Like they've just declared that, like, more or less, well, Shirou, when they're sitting on that rock, just turns around and goes, yeah, fancy her. And then Rin has that uber freak out.
Yeah.
And then Rin, like, has more or less reciprocated. But going from, oh, Rin, I really like you, to Rin being like, oh, I think I like you
guess
too, so we have to have sex right now.
Thinking about it, they did kind of tone down those aspects a bit, because, I mean, when it came up in the visual novel, it didn't feel weird. It felt like their relationship was at that point. But yeah, I appreciate what they did with it, because, I mean, we had some little fishy things.
Yeah.
That were like sex fish, like CGI green sex fish that were just there. I don't know
It
what.
was not crystal dolphins this time.
I don't know why I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Manatee things.
What was crystal dolphins in?
The movie.
Okay, because I haven't seen that. That's why I keep hearing people talk about dolphins.
Yeah.
I'm still doing this.
He got a fish tattoo on his arm. He got a fish tattoo.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. It's gnarly. That's what actual mana transfer was. She just loaded up a tattoo gun with mana ink and...
I'm also not sure if you guys noticed, but at the start of the ED, the fish are there. The sex fish are at the start of the ED. And I'm just like, why? Why are the sex fish in the ED? Why wasn't the dragon in the ED? Like the original series. That fucking dragon. I'll never forget about it.
What the fuck is happening?
Metaphor. Yeah.
That's a reference.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Bakashift, that knobhead.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Is Bakashift gay, though? That's what I need to know.
Sources suggest that he is a naughty uke.
Right.
So yeah, that happens.
And then they go to the temple, and the big Shinji fuck blob is there.
I did like how they never even thought for 1 second that Assassin was still going to be there. Like, that thought never even crossed their mind. And, like, Saber's so surprised to see him.
It makes sense, though.
Like, well,
for him to not be there.
Well, logically, yeah, I suppose, Caster's gone. Logically, he's going to disappear. But I suppose, like, there was that slim possibility, considering all the shit that didn't follow logic that's gone before this. Like, the very fact that Gilgamesh is still there. Like, Gilgamesh has been there for 10 years. What's to say that Assassin can't stick around for another 20 minutes, you know?
Yeah. Because the other thing, too, the last time we saw him, his ribcage was ripped open.
Yeah,
that's...
that was minging.
Yeah, it was. And he just, like, was like, yeah, just a scratch, mate.
So, yeah, he shows up and throws a wrench in all their plans, and then Shirou is just like, alright, plan B, then. And gets wrecked.
Yep.
And then they unfortunately again talk over to one of the other fight scenes, which I really liked, which was Saber versus Assassin. Because in the visual novel, there was not that much talking whatsoever. It was like they just straight up fought, and then Saber won, and he was just like, all right, then on you go.
just to clarify, we know why Gilgamesh is still. I'm just looking at the comments. We know why Gilgamesh is still around. I'm talking as far as the characters are concerned, because that gets told to you in Fate Zero, which we've seen.
Yeah.
There's an episode of it.
Yeah.
Anyway. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, the assassin fight. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, yeah, it's fine. But yeah, it's like, it was supposed to be like an actual fight, and then they were just kind of talking the whole time, and then Saber won out of the blue, and then
In one strike.
Yeah. How did she dodge? How did she dodge this reversal swallow? She just did it.
Swallow reversal. She reversed his swallow.
Because she had all of Type Moon fans behind her this one last time.
Her banter was too strong. That's all
Yeah,
it was.
Exactly.
That's what all the talking was.
Oh, can I just say though, how fucking minging was it when Rin was walking over the chubby stuff? It was nasty. It was
Oh
like,
yeah, when she's like plodding through the mud, it's like, this is fine!
If ufotable can get something right, it's making things fucking disgusting.
Like, come on, Rin. He tried to rape you.
Yeah.
You don't go over the yucky gunk. You almost died from that. Oh, and when this is jumping all the way past the fight, but when she's like stuck in it and she's like squished in there, that was horrible. I was like, I don't want to be in there.
That was straight up Akira right there.
That's claustrophobia central right there.
I bet it stank as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It's Shinji's like demon flubber. I mean, I know it's Shirou, and he would never let anyone die, but I still think they could have let Shinji just die.
Oh, absolutely.
Shinji's such an awful person.
No one needed that.
Wasn't her logic like, oh, but she is Sakura's brother, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I don't save him, Sakura will be sad. And it's like, because Sakura's not allowed to be sad.
Can I say, like, at the start of the series, when she had that bruise on the back of her hand, I was like, is she one of the masters? Because I thought that was her getting her, like, command seals or whatever, but apparently her brother was just actually a knob.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was an actual dick.
And I guess the thing that reflects that is that the exact same thing happens to Shirou when he is getting his command seal.
Yeah, that's what I assumed, so I was like, oh, maybe she's got the command seals and it's fine. Not fine. It's not fine
It's
at all.
never fine. It's never fine.
Yep. One thing that I have heard people complain about is just Sakura in the series in general and how she does literally nothing.
She just vanishes
Yeah.
halfway through the season and then appears right at the end.
Is just how it is, because I mean she's at the start and then for the rest of the route she doesn't do anything. She's sort of waiting for the next route, and some people are like, well, I know she's got Goose do stuff in Heavensfield, but she didn't need to be here. I guess it's just because if they took her out, it wouldn't have really changed anything. She didn't like clog up much screen time or anything.
I was gonna say, they should have at least had her show up. That's the thing. It's just she's completely removed.
No, she was my favourite character because she made all that amazing looking anime food.
Yeah, man. Oh, food porn in Fate is pretty damn on point.
I want ufotable to make like
A food anime.
a food anime so bad because I looked at that stuff and I was like, I'm so fucking hungry. I ate so much yesterday.
It's just Shiro's cooking channel.
Yeah. Cooking with Shirou.
Shokugeki no Shiro.
Shokugeki no Shiro.
Coming from Ufotable this weekend.
That'll be amazing. Oh,
Never broken a plate in my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
right. So the Gilgamesh fight itself. It was pretty fucking good.
I liked it.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was good.
Like, the one thing I liked was at the beginning where it's just like, he's basically just toying with Shiro.
Yeah,
like
he's just
standing up, and then he's just like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna sit for this one."
I like the fact that by the time that Gilgamesh realizes that he needs to pull his finger out, it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that I question about Gilgamesh in this fight is that, like, it just seems like he doesn't give a shit about his own plan. Because, like, he knows Shinji's getting removed, and he knows that's gonna throw a spanner and everything. He knows Saber's on her way, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just keep fighting this guy half-assedly and just let it happen, and then blow up my own Google guy because he's trying to eat me."
No! Get off me!
He seemed like he didn't give a shit about his own plan, which I
was
was like,
I wonder if part of it's just because of how haughty he is.
yeah,
When Shiro turned up and challenged him, he was like, right, well, my pride is more important than my plan.
yeah. I could always wait until the next war.
No, yeah, I was about to say, it's like, whatever, I waited 1 decade, what's 2 decades?
It's like, well, I guess they've saved Shinji, but he's he plays a good Ari, and I'd lose stuff from my team without him. So I guess he can be saved.
Something about ganking mid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get all your terminology in there, Alan. Come on.
Hey, I don't want to overcook it. All right.
Yeah, that is an interesting question. Why didn't Gilgamesh just blow up everything himself? Why did he need the Grail to do it?
Probably because he was
Why didn't he just crack out Enema Elish and Aya and was just like a boom, a boom? Considering it's an anti-world weapon.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, that would have been a ball ache though. He wants to just like, you know what he is, yeah. He's so fucking salty that he doesn't have his pimp jet anymore. Remember his pimp jet?
Yeah, I remember.
Where'd that go? I want that pimp jet. I know that wasn't in the visual novel, but man, it's him just sitting on his pimp jet, just like, I don't give a shit. I know there's a bloody possessed F-15 after me.
Oh, that F-15 was so good.
Yeah, it was.
Fucking love. I'm Berserker and I fucking love planes.
Yup.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
The fight, like, I just loved how the fight progressed, because at the start he was getting toyed with, and then Shirou started going, "What if I copy all of those?" And he's like, "Oh, I did it. Cool." And then he's like, "But what if I'm the bone of my sword?" Oh.
And
I'm
Saber's
the bone
just
of
like,
my sword.
Saber's just like, Shirou, don't do it. And he's like, no, I'm gonna do it.
Jumping back a little bit. What was I gonna say? To the Shirou Archer fight. One thing that I do feel like was done really well in this was when you finally get the actual clash of the two ideals, and you see Shirou's unlimited blade work start to take over Archers, and you see the two like side by side. That was
cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was.
So I like how the pair of them are so visibly different.
Mm-hmm. And Shirou's wasn't as dank.
Yeah. Didn't have the cogs. That was the best thing, the cogs.
Yeah.
Steampunk as fuck. Didn't have the air horns, man.
No. Unlimited air horn work.
Bone of my sword. But yeah.
Gilgamesh just shot all of this shit at him, and he just, like, these two massive air horns just blast everything back.
Trace on. But yeah, I think part of it is, like, I like the fact that the reason that Gilgamesh was defeated was solely because of his own hubris.
Yeah.
Like, just the fact that he knew he was, like, the best, but because of that he limited himself.
What did everyone think about Shirou's, like, extreme power level by the end of it?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, I guess it sort of made sense. The only thing that got me was when they're like Rin and Shirou are on their way to the temple, and Rin's like, "Hey, how'd you feel with the crest, man? How does it make you feel?" And he's like, "I feel pretty good. I reckon I can do at least 10 to 20 projections in before he does 1,000,000.
Yup.
And then that's when she's like caught in between like the thing. It's like, God damn it, Shirou, stop using my mana.
Just drains it like, mana. Oh.
Because, I mean, another thing that I've seen people complain about was how ridiculously strong Shirou was. But I'm just like, well, when he's in his reality marble, and the whole point of that is that everything in your head becomes easier to make a reality, and he's sort of at the complete peak of his own ability.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? The whole point of the reality marble is he doesn't, technically what he's doing at that point isn't projecting.
Yeah.
It's there, he just summons it.
It's like, it's not just that, it's like his actual movements and like how he's jumping around, running ridiculously quickly, his general reflexes and stuff like that. All of that is going to be down to the reality marble.
And a lot of that as well is going to be through transfer with Archer as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, like he's come a long way in a very short space of time.
Yeah.
But I think they did a good job of justifying why.
Yeah, and I liked how Shirou was just like, oh, it's that easy.
Oh, here's a question before we talk about the end of the fight. If you guys had a reality marble, what would it be? Go on,
Evie's would be full of Harrows.
Would your reality marble just be
Unlimited
Iwatobi?
Harrow works.
I'd be there all the time.
Yep. You'd be like, oh, I'll run out of
Unlimited
magic.
Haru.
She'd be there eating mackerel to gain mana.
Yep.
Do the reality marble.
Yep.
What, yours, Cam?
I don't know what mine would be. It'd be like space. It should be me, a super robot. My reality marble
No.
would be a super robot.
No, your reality marble would be your space background, and then you'd dance.
Unlimited space dance works.
Yeah.
Where do you reckon that footage came from, man?
Oh, that footage was pretty marvelous.
I have my own backing dancers, which are me.
What, you're Connor?
I don't know, like, I think it'd be like unlimited guitar works. Just be like all
That'd
these
be
guitars,
amazing.
and my ultimate guitar would be the guitar from Mad Max with the flamethrower.
My reality marble would be a game of marbles.
That is a pretty realistic marble. That is the OD.
These
the
are my
O-
reality marbles.
That's the
I can
OG
also
reality
protect
marble.
balls.
Oh man. But yeah, the fight was good, and like I never felt like, considering it was a bit of a twist ending with the whole thing with, oh no, I'm getting sucked into the black hole. I never at one point felt that was anticlimactic, which it could have easily been.
Yeah.
Well, I think the main thing was, it's like, there was nothing anticlimactic about it, because when Shirou, like, actually
Cut his arm off!
Yeah, that was so pro! Like, he's just in the air, he just flies down, freaking cuts his arm off, and just goes, that was amazing!
Alan, you're going into your hype voice.
Oh, it's because I was hype, but that just looks so cool!
And then the one quote, well, actually two quotes from Gilgamesh, where it's just like, in this moment, you are strong. I was like, boom!
You acknowledge the poopy pants guy.
Yeah. And then, is the Grail appears in his arm.
And I liked how he was like, "You're taking me with you," and it's like, "No, I'm just getting
I want
out."
to stay alive. You just stay right there until I'm there, and then we'll do whatever we want.
And then Archer's just like, mind your head. And I love the CG in the game. I love how they did it in the thing. Gil's face with an arrow in him when he's just like,
Oh
like,
no!
later.
Oh
I've gotta say, it makes me sad that he met such a fate because his face was very, very pretty.
Yeah, it was.
But now it's got a hole in it.
It does. It's okay. Maybe he'll get a figure of something one day.
Yeah.
Because no one seems to be.
There is a scale figure of him, it's just not very good.
Yeah.
A figure that isn't a fucking Chogokin that's like £1 million.
Yeah. Oh.
Don't, man. Just the lack of Gilgamesh figures is a very sore point.
Yeah.
You got the Nendoroid, so we got something.
Mhm.
Yay!
Yeah. Exactly. So Giggles dies, and
Giggles.
then
And Saber
it's
goes
like-
away.
yeah, Saber. Oh.
That made me sad.
That was so abrupt.
Okay,
That
It was really
like-
abrupt as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So all the Grail shit in this, that is still Anger Manu. They just didn't call it that.
Yeah, they just never
Yeah,
referred
okay.
to it.
I was getting confused because they never actually referred to it as Anger Manu, and I was like, does that mean it's something else? Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just-
I'm not confused anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, Saber leaves just as quickly as she came, and it was sad because all of her development for all of this, which I know a lot of people complained about coming from Fate Zero, was just kind of off to the side.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
This isn't Saber's time in the spotlight.
no,
Yes,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's not Saber's story, which I
No.
suppose would be a bit weird for fans that have come straight from Zero, because obviously that was like Saber was in the spotlight at that point. So for
Yeah.
her to like turn up in this and effectively be a side character was a bit strange.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
much so.
But at the same time, I feel like it's somewhat justified because her and Shiro and Archer are essentially all sides of the same coin, no matter what. So, like, she kind of got her development through Shiro. Because she even says, like, because she watched their fight, she found her answer. So she no longer had any regrets.
Yeah.
And besides, Saber, you're lovely. Give someone else a turn.
Yeah. True.
Sorry, I was just browsing.
Ooh.
Fine.
Oh wow, I want it.
Oh,
That's a Mega
jeez.
House figure.
Right, I'm gonna have to show this on stream.
That's a Mega House figure.
You want yourself some Gilgamesh merchandise? Get that.
That's a mega house figure.
Did that actually ever go into production though? Because I've never seen it anywhere.
I actually don't know if that's an official colouring or if that's someone's Photoshop of it.
Yeah,
I don't
someone's
know.
probably photoshopped it.
God,
Oh,
that's
nice.
proper.
No, it's photoshopped. Okay, it's photoshopped. It's fine.
Okay, that's all right then.
Oh, that wasn't actually. Oh, never mind. I won't show it then.
Oh.
It's still a figure that apparently they are making one day, maybe. Who knows?
It was posted up over a year ago, I think.
Whoops.
But you can get him as a chess piece.
Yeah, you can.
You can get his earrings.
Yeah.
So Gilgamesh basically has an android.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's it.
Gilgamesh should
Yeah.
get his earrings because they were missing from him in this season.
He has an Endoroid and he has that Chogokin.
Which is cool because it's
Yeah.
got like chromed armor and everything.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of a donkey face because it's Bandai, but
Yeah, it was too small.
Everyone
but
wants
too
to see it. Apparently.
okay.
Shoplers.
No,
Spoiler.
Jesse Cooper wants to see it.
Where does it save? Where did it save to?
Spoiler.
It's there.
Gate of Babylon is now Gate of Mustard.
Get off mustard!
Man, poor
Like,
Gil.
oh,
He got
God.
a note.
It's
What's this?
It's not
Chess piece.
it's not letting me.
Oh
Sorry.
god.
lame.
Sorry guys.
Oh. Wah.
In
Oh.
fact,
Anyway.
can I? Oh, I can't link it in the fucking chat. Oh.
Right.
We'll tweet it
Let's-
out afterwards.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Do
Right,
that.
let's move on because
Yes.
this been starting to lag a bit.
Yeah.
As in, like us, we're starting to lag a bit.
Yeah, we are. So
Yeah, we are.
Ebby, when Archer disappeared, how many feels did you feel?
All the feels.
Uh,
All the feels.
We were like, come back, baby. It's okay, get summoned again one day.
yeah.
I was like, just really sad because I was like, he's the only reason that I'm here because I bought a figure of him and now he's gone.
It's all right though, because now you get the figure and you're like, yeah, he's back.
Yeah. That figure, we'll say, fucking glorious. But
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful figure, dude.
best fucking it cost
Does he
11,000
does
yen.
Does he just have the Shiro face, or is it like an alternate
No,
face?
it's an alternate face, and he comes with
Which-
the bow and the
Which one are you gonna have?
alternate, the Shiro face.
The Shiro face. What else does he come with? The bow and the what?
The
And
bow and the like drill
the sword.
arrow thing.
Oh, Calabosh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then his two swords. He comes with like loads of stuff. He's really good.
Kansho and Bakuya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna pretend I know.
I only know that because I researched for my review. That
We
was
didn't, I just realised we didn't even talk about when fucking Lancer died.
Yeah, we didn't.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it was too sad, so we blocked it out.
I just
Yeah.
want to say,
His Kotomine died at that time, and I was like,
Lancer man, he always gets the pointy end of the stick.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
fucking
Lance-
Lancer.
If you
Lancer, kill yourself. Not again.
And he does it, and then he just keeps getting back up. It's like, yeah, you killed yourself, but you're soldiering through.
it's
I like how
I
that's
wouldn't
kind of a
die.
running joke as well. That's just like a running joke in Carnival of Phantasm and
Yeah.
stuff. Like he keeps
Lancer
dying,
always dies.
and he keeps dying, but he keeps coming back because
Yep.
he's Lancer and he's a glutton for punishment.
And we love him.
And
And
it's
he's like,
just
oh, Rin, if you're a
I
bit
would be
older, come
real-
find me.
I wouldn't be a real heroic spirit if I died from a wound like that. And it was just like, so Darmid, how's it going on?
Oh,
Awkward.
that was that. And now we have the epilogue.
Yes, the epilogue.
This went on for far too long, and why the fuck
Yeah.
are they going to A, Hogwarts, and B, why is it in the Houses of Parliament?
Well,
I
right.
I
Okay,
like the epilogue.
the stuff from the epilogue that's actually in the game is the stuff in school. Basically, the scene where Shiro is talking to Rin and she's like on the desk or like
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of that's actually in the game. Everything else wasn't. And I guess-
think all of that is based on information from like art books and stuff. From
Yeah.
what knowledge I know, because I know the thing about Waver. Like the only reference of Waver being Lord El Meloy II is from an art book.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
so
fucking
I
Waver
guess
was
they just put that in. I guess just as fan service. I
seeing
don't
Waver
know.
was pretty pro.
And then you got that other girl who's in like Prisma Ilia and stuff.
Oh yeah, Luvia.
I forgot. Yeah, Luvia.
Why were they wrestling? Like, why? What? Stop the wrestling!
Super magic wrestling. That was pro.
Now,
What is going on? Like,
what else is Luvia from other than Ilia?
Wasn't
Isn't
is
she?
she not in
She's in
Ataraxia?
Hollow Ataraxia, isn't she?
I haven't encountered her yet, and
Okay.
I'm like 85% through the game.
I know she's also in Unlimited Codes too, but I
Okay.
don't
Because
really
I mean, I assume she was a
really count.
Holotraxia thing, but I haven't encountered her at all yet.
Weird. Don't know. All I know is that she's in Ilia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like she's the main character, and I was just like, Ilia's not even like ufotable or anything. It's like, what are you doing here, love?
Shut
Hey, she did a bloody German suplex.
That
Shut up.
amazing.
Suplex
Shut
City,
up.
bitches.
And then Rin had sore legs, and she sat on.
Wait,
Shirou
no,
or
we didn't
Cute
talk
Light.
about my favourite part.
What was that
For the
part?
epilogue, where they went to the hill and Archer was there and he was all glittery with the Shirou hair and he was like, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
That was probably my favourite part, because I was like, bye Archer, you look really good with hair like that. You should have had it like that the whole time.
Yeah.
Stop spiking your hair up. You look like a douche.
Same with Gilgamesh, like when he spikes it up, he looks like a douche. When he got it
Yeah.
down, looks pretty.
Yeah, it does.
So don't use hair gel, that's the moral of the story.
Moral of fucking Face Day Night. Don't use hair gel. But,
So supposedly she is in Holotraxia. I don't know why I haven't encountered her yet.
Maybe she's just like in a tiny little bit.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'm well far through.
Maybe you think you're 85% of the way through, but you're not.
You're
Maybe.
8.5% of the way.
Oh
No,
god, please no.
Because it's just the day repeats.
Is
over
she,
and
is she,
over.
oh god, has she got a 3-hour info dump about everything in her life as well? On her 14th birthday, her daddy bought her a train set, and she didn't want a train set, she wanted a dolly.
Alan, that's the last like 16%. It's just her. That's that info dump.
Oh god. Is she the cause of the bloody time loop?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the epilogue.
I liked the epilogue. I think it just kind of, I don't know. It was nice to see something different and new.
Yeah.
Because like I knew from like, cause I obviously I don't know the visual novels or anything, but I kind of knew from moment one this was completely original, apart from the flashback stuff, like you said, and it was just nice to see. The wrestling bit was a bit much, but it was still cool. So
Yeah, it
like
was.
I was all right with it. Like that bit where Rin's wearing like the Fumina get-up, and then she's all like raw, and there's lines all over. I was like,
Yeah,
the
man.
coolest thing about this is just the lines. Like when Shirou goes into his reality marble and he's got those crazy lines on his face. It's like, oh, like glowing green lines makes everyone badass.
Yeah.
I just want to get across that they were in Hogwarts and it was in the Houses of Parliament. Like, why is no one thinking that this is a big deal?
It's because it's not. It's normal. What do you think the Houses of Parliament is now?
Yeah.
Clearly Hogwarts. Clearly.
Really.
Hogwarts.
There was just this moment where I was like, are they basically going to Hogwarts? Because
Yeah.
that's just what this seems like.
Yes.
Kinross is
Tower.
like, yeah, pretty much.
Clock
So-
Tower,
Magic school.
Hogwarts. They're not
Magic
they're not going to Hogwarts. They're going to play Clock Tower on the SNES.
Yep.
It's just the only copy left is in London.
Yeah. And
I
then
don't
they,
really have anything else to say about the epilogue, because...
Yeah.
So it
Well,
went on a
it's
little
decided.
bit.
This is the thing. There was nothing.
Although-
There's nothing.
There was that nice moment where they went to Glastonbury to see King Arthur's
Yeah.
grave. That was
yeah,
quite
that
nice.
was cool.
Like they.
That
This is the
made me
thing. There's
tear
not
up.
really much that can be said about it, but it was just nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like-
it was nice to have like, because like what I think was nice about it was that all these people are just like, why is Shiro so stupid? He's going to be an archer anyways. Blah 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 blah. And they make it clear that like he is trying to like avoid that path as much as possible, but he can't help but feel drawn to it. Fate, and so it's like. And Rin's just like, okay, yeah, I get it. That's fine. Like, you can
She
drag me
accepts
around
it.
now.
She accepts it, which is the
Yeah.
best part.
And it's like, you know what? You're flawed, and I get that, and I appreciate it because I know that I have the ability to be like, yo, you're being a twat. Stop that, and you'll listen to me.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe Rin thinks that by sticking around him, she can rein him in and hopefully avoid that from happening.
Yep.
Yeah. And then
But
also,
then they went travelling and he was in the desert and he looked a bit like
Mhm.
browner.
Yeah.
Sorted.
Getting
You
his
went and
tan.
got a tan.
Yeah, he went and got a
Shout
tan.
outs to Eric and his perfect cosplay.
And then a wonderful, wonderful. Well, someone made an edit, but it was also heavily implied that they're humping like bunnies now. So there is that.
Of course
Like-
they are.
There's. I saw this picture of the actual script for that episode, and it's like Shiro embracing Rin, and they're clearly naked, and it's just like, well.
Can't wait for the Blu-rays.
They're not humping like bunnies.
Yeah.
They're humping like green little CGI fish.
Yeah. And then fucking someone made an edit where it's like right after they do the handshake, it pans out, and then it does like the day to night thing, and then you just hear a jackhammer.
That would have been amazing. There's just this like lingering echo of a jackhammer just in the distance as it fades out.
Right.
That's
Pretty much it.
We did it. We made it.
I don't think we have time to talk about any other characters in more detail. I think we covered.
Archer,
No,
best
bases.
girl, best boy, best everything.
Rin's adorable babe.
Yeah, everyone's
I love their relationship. Shiro and Rin's relationship was fantastic. It was adorable,
Mhm.
and it was like everyone like laughs and makes a joke of Rin being like, "Oh, she's a tsundere, lol lol lol." But it was like
She
that-
is, but she's a
yeah.
good one.
Yeah, she is, but there's more to it than that. Like,
Yeah.
it's clear that it's more than it just being a joke. Because I like, for me personally, when you have romance sub stories, when you've got a character that's tsundere, I find that that's driven home too much,
Yeah.
and that kind of becomes she's a tsundere. That's the plot.
Whereas I think with Rin, it's not a case of she's a tsundere. She's just that's how she comes across. Whereas that's not the entire intent of her character.
Yeah.
They didn't write her character by going, "This is a tsundere," because I mean, when her character was originally written, that was before that was a thing, really.
Yeah.
For that to be a popular
Yeah.
thing, it was sort of closer to like when. Because like it was like Ava happened, Asuka happened, not that long after this game came out. Rin happened, and it kind of they're semi responsible for this being a popular archetype now. And the show looked real nice, didn't it?
It was really
Oh,
It was
yes,
all
it did.
glittery.
And like everything about it, the shading, the lighting, all of the little effects and things here and there. As I said, everything was pretty much spot on and perfect. All the
Yeah.
I think my
all the
favorite
action
bit
scenes
of
and
like
motions were incredible.
my favorite example of how good it looked was when Saber disappeared, and there were like it was just like a close up of her face going, "Oh, I wish I could have stayed," and it was like all gold floating around her
Yeah.
and stuff. It looked so good.
Yeah, all those little glittery effects and things like that were gorgeous. It's the only things I didn't like were the bloody CGI skeletons and how
Yeah.
like some of the CGI water looked and that
Yeah,
kind of
that's really.
thing. And like
about
there were
it,
like
though.
CGI background characters here and there. CGI
That,
background character.
that was the first thing I noticed because they were walking weird. They were walking
Yeah.
like.
And
not
what was
like the
interesting
characters.
though is that in like the in the prologue when you see the CGI background characters, Rin is walking amongst them, but she is not CG, which is what
Oh,
makes it
yeah.
even more noticeable.
Yeah.
Music makes the people come together. Yeah.
I found most of the soundtrack rather forgettable, to be honest. Like,
It ain't got nothing on Fate Zero.
no, yeah,
there
it
were
doesn't
the
have
odd
anything
bits.
on Kadra.
Like we all said before that this one's rendition of Emir was really good.
No, yeah, that's the only parts of
That
the
was-
soundtrack that are memorable are
Yeah.
the ones that were already composed, and
Yeah,
that's why
exactly.
they're memorable.
So when they played the opening to Fate Stay Night, that was great. When they
Yeah.
played Emir, that was great. The rest,
Sort
I don't know,
of
well-
Promised Victory was there. They were just another rendition of This Illusion. And then the second opening, and the endings, and Last
I
Stardust.
like the first opening. That was good.
Yeah.
First opening
I
was
like
good.
I like the second opening way more.
Okay.
Yeah, second Aimer or Amer, however you're supposed
Yeah.
to
But I
pronounce it.
definitely wouldn't
It's
say anything in the soundtrack was bad. It
No, I
just,
wouldn't
No,
say.
not at
Yeah,
all.
it just wasn't.
we've just been spoiled by things in the past. I think it was
Yeah.
definitely solid. It's just not something that you're gonna put on any lists of like the best things ever or whatever.
I'm not going to put it on my phone anytime soon.
Yeah.
You what, mate? Forgettable OST? Are you drunk, mate?
If we're on the subject of sound, I have to bring up the dub.
Oh,
my
I haven't heard any of that yet. What's that like, bro?
It's on Netflix. Just to give you an idea, all right. So first of all, Bryce Papenbrook as Shiro. But here's another deal. Like, that girl Ayako from like the first episode. That like, if you remember her, one of the I think VP of Archery Club or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
She's voiced by Brina Palencia.
I don't know what that means.
It's such a waste of talent. Like, all the main characters are like these like really bad ones, and then all the super good voice actors are just like secondary background characters.
Maybe they could only afford to have them in for like an afternoon.
I don't know. And like, I was a little disappointed that Liam O'Brien was not reprising his role as Archer, but at the same time, he did play Karya, so I guess that wouldn't have really jived.
Yeah.
Was he Archer in both of the Dean things?
Yes, he
Okay.
was. And then, but Kaji Tang, I think, is going to do a solid job. He did, on his SoundCloud, you can look it up, he did the Unlimited Blade Works chant, and it's like, alright, I'm sold, but I'm not wholly convinced, basically.
The entire chant, or just the bit they put in the bloody show?
The entire chant.
Okay,
he
good.
does. And
I
I
like
believe
this
he
guy.
does. I think he
I
did
am
also,
the bone
but,
of my sword. Unlimited Blade Works.
I think he also did put Emiya behind it. I haven't listened to it.
Pro.
But yeah, the dub is horrible, and it made me say things out loud that I'm not proud of. Like, I would rather watch. Like,
Oh, hello, Shirou. My name's Rin. Wanna be a magical boy like me?
Baka.
you're not wrong. Like,
Do you wanna come summon a servant and do a big
Face
cheeky
your-
war with me?
Fate Zero Rin reprised her role as Rin, but she still sounds like a 2-year-old.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and like Todd Habercorn is Assassin, which I'm
Oh.
totally cool
Wait,
with.
what is... Wait, what is...
Why do they keep casting him as these characters that he doesn't suit? Stop!
What's Issei's dub voice like?
I can't remember.
Because all
But,
it, like, I'm freaking watching this like in Japanese, and I'm just like, this Issei always sounded like that. Like he's got the deepest voice ever.
Yeah, yeah, he does. But one thing I really do want to see, My Valentine from Yu-Gi-Oh! Plays Caster.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
As you can see, I look like a harpy lady.
But yeah,
The good thing is, you don't have to watch the dub. Instead, you can watch the sub, where Shinji is voiced by Penguin.
Yep.
yeah.
I'll never get
Exactly.
over it. I'll never
That's-
get over it.
That's the only saving grace, but it was like Aniplex USA. In one fell swoop, you made me not only not want to buy the DVDs because of how bad your dub is, but you also made me want to watch something else entirely.
Well,
Oh dear.
you don't
Like-
fuck it up.
Like, my friend was just like, or we can go home and watch the dub of Fate Stay Night. I was like, or I could watch, like, I don't know, Rara, Nanon Biori, something else.
Custom stuff.
But yeah, dub is horrible. Everything else about the show is great. And yeah.
Well, would you like to segue into final thoughts with that, Connor?
Sounds like
Things-
a good plan to me.
Sure. Final thoughts on it all. I'm happy it happened. I'm happy that Heaven's Feel is going to happen as a result of this as well. Because I
You
know.
wish it was a series rather than a movie? That's the question.
I wish it was a series because then we could do it on this.
Yeah, I for me, if it's a movie, it needs to be 4 movies.
Yeah, basically.
Heaven's Feel is longer than the other ones. It's a
Oh,
lot
absolutely.
denser. It's got a
Oh.
lot more going on in it than the other ones.
Like,
It's-
if you watch the Dean's adaptation of Limited Blade Works and thought that was rushed, I'm very scared for what happens.
I would say it would need to be 4 films if they start it at the branch point. So they
Yeah.
basically go, like, watch the Unlimited Blade Works prologue and, like, the first episode, and then watch this. Start it there. Then I think 4 films could cover it. If not,
Yeah.
they need, like, 5.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I just because this is the thing as well. Like Heaven's Feel is an important one because I feel like that's the one that people know the least about.
Mhm, absolutely.
Because it's so, from what I know about it, it's so far removed from everything
Oh,
else.
yeah.
Like there's like with Fate and with Unlimited Blade Works, there's a lot of crossover. There are a lot of
Mhm.
events that are similar. There are a lot of things that happen sort of the same, just a little bit out of order with different characters. Blah blah blah. Heaven's Feel completely.
yeah,
different.
it's completely
Like,
fucking different straight
there
away.
are characters that appear which don't even like because Zoken is in Heaven's Feel.
Yep.
He doesn't even appear in the other 2 routes at all.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
So, and he's like a major driving force.
Yeah.
So, like that alone suggests that like there's a lot of shit that you can't
Yeah.
just
You-
imply.
It's basically, it would be impossible to make it a single film and just have it flow and have the same ending, basically.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. We'll see what they do with
The
it.
only good thing that it will have is that it'll be the current like quality that Unlimited Blade Works has, but with like a theatrical releases budget.
Yeah.
Which could be incredible. It just depends on.
We'll see.
What they do with
I'd like
This-
to hope
this-
that they can extend it.
Yeah, the storytelling aspect of it is just, it doesn't look promising.
Yeah.
But back to UBW, I loved it. I may or may not get it on DVD. It depends how Aniplex decides to screw me over on that. I'm just happy it was a thing, because I remember watching Fate Zero and watching Dean Stay Night, and I was just like, man, this would be great, but if it was like Fate Zero, and then it happens like the next day, I was like, oh man, this is banging.
Yep.
So I'm just a happy camper in general. I'm sure objectively, yeah, it's not the best.
That's
but-
not a word I like.
Yeah, like, I'm sure to other people it's not the best, but it did what it set out to do, and I couldn't be happier for that.
What's
And that's
your
my thought.
rating, bro?
My rating? I'd give it about like an 8 out of 10.
Cool. Or let's go in the reverse order then, so that's Cam next.
Oh no! I haven't thought of it yet. No. I really enjoyed this series. Like I liked kind of. It's difficult to explain. Like I mentioned that when at the very start that Unlimited Blade Works is the same sort of formula as Fate Zero, but with a different cast of characters, and as a result, that kind of makes the entire thing completely different. Focus different places, whatever. I think I felt like it was a really good adaptation, and as a result of that, it had some weaknesses. But where it was good, it was really good, and I really enjoyed it. There were a few moments where I was like, "Oh bloody hell, this is going on a bit, isn't it?" But yeah, I was satisfied with it. As Connor said, I felt like it set out what it did what it set out to do. Anything's better than the film. I'm at the point now where I wish they would stop rehashing the same stuff. Like Zero, the reason why Zero was great was because Zero was new. Like it was completely new and removed from everything else. And I feel like a weakness of this, to me, was the fact that I've seen all this shit before. This is just more detail on the same thing that I've seen before. They need to do something else. They need to do either Heaven's Feel, or they need to just go completely off the wall. And something that I want to see is Apocrypha.
Yes.
Because that takes the formula of Fate Stay Night and just doubles it.
Yeah.
Literally doubles it.
Yeah, exactly. So
I want to see Hollow Ataraxia real bad. I just have I've got no fucking idea how they could do it.
Hollow
Yeah.
Ataraxia, Apocrypha, they could do friggin' Fate Extra, like, and just take the whole
Yeah.
rubbish rock paper scissors game aspect out of it.
Yeah, because I mean, the only problem with Hollow Ataraxia is you play the game through a time loop. Basically, each time you do a loop, you then unlock new things within the loop, and it's like, how do you make a cohesive thing out of that instead of making it Endless 8? Yeah.
Do Endless 8. But yeah, I preferred Zero, but I think that's the only reason why I preferred Zero was because it was grittier, and that just suited my tastes a bit better. However, any moment that Shirou had a fight was gar as fuck. So
Yeah, it was.
like that's a big plus for me, and you never really got that in Zero. So there's stuff in this that didn't have, but overall I think I'd pick Zero over this. 7 out of 10, but a strong 7 out of 10 because it's Fate and I love Fate.
Okay, smokes. Elbow.
I don't know, I'm doing the scoring. I really liked it. Like I said earlier, I thought it was, for me, at least a little bit more accessible than Fate Zero was. I don't know why that was. I don't know if that's because I went in knowing the things that I knew from Fate Zero and having prior knowledge, where I didn't have that with Fate Zero, and I was like, I don't know anything about Fate. How am I going to understand any of this? And I still feel like when I'm in this podcast right now, I'm just like, I don't know a thing about Fate, because you guys clearly know more about Fate than any person should.
At least this podcast wasn't as bad as Fate Zero, when we were just going off on Fate tangents constantly. Like, oh, this is a
Meanwhile,
reference to
I'm
this,
just like-
explaining everything. While Ebby's just there like, I am learning so much stuff.
No, it's okay, Abby. This whole time I was just cheating off the wiki. It's fine.
Don't feel too bad now.
Just casually close my one.
But I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Because I thought there was going to be a lot of information that I was going to need to take in. It was going to be kind of difficult for me because I had to watch it in a short space of time, and because I'd watched Fate Zero and had that problem with the first season. But I liked... The thing that probably makes it a little bit more my thing is the whole character progression with Archer and Shirou. I like that a lot, even though I was a bit dense and didn't pick up on it like immediately. That was super cool. And
the thing is, I think the whole Archer Shirou thing. It isn't something that you would pick up straight away, unless you already knew.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. Though I mean, some people are super perceptive. Like my friend, who watched Dean Fate's Day Night, and like clocked that Archer was Shirou within the first like 5 episodes of Dean Fate's Day Night, and I was like, how?
They don't even go into that in
No,
Dean Fate's Day Night at all.
They don't even touch on it, and he's like, that's Shirou, innit? And I was like, how the fuck do you know?
The reason I found out was I watched Dean Fate's Day Night, and I went on a wiki article of Archer, and it went, Archer is the hero, because I wanted to know who he was.
Okay.
So I worked out everyone else. I went, who's Archer? Archer is the heroic spirit Emiya, who is Shirou from the future. I was like, what?
But yeah, that twist, for me, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I liked it more than Zero for some reason, and a lot of people are going to be mad at me. Like I said earlier,
Yeah, man,
I
that's
don't
fine.
care because...
It makes sense, based on your preference.
Yeah, based on your taste. Like, as I said, I predicted that. I assumed that you would like this more than Zero.
And I thought I was going to be like, this is rubbish because everyone hates it, and I have to hate it too. But I really liked it, and I'm very interested in watching Dean Fate's Day Night.
I'll lend it you.
Oh yeah, man. And potentially maybe in about 5 years' time watching a Heavensville movie. Cause...
I need to watch it again. I need to watch Dean Fate's Day Night again.
Let's all watch it together.
Count, let's have a marathon.
I feel like I need to put myself through that again. Yeah, let's do it.
Look at him go. He's
Archer. He's best.
Emily's just like, please no.
Contains all 24 episodes. And a barcode!
Oh my god!
Scan it, quick.
That's a barcode!
Anyway, I'd give it a 7. I think I gave Fate Zero a 7.
You did
It'd be a
indeed.
very, very high 7. But 7 up for me.
Unlimited 7 works.
Yeah.
Now I've got to do some maths, so Alan, continue.
I will continue. Oh. When this thing first kicked off, or when this thing first announced, I broke everything in the house out of hype. I turned into a magical jumping bean and just was jumping around like a nutter. And I had the exact same response when the prologue first aired. Like, prologue aired, and I was like, that was perfect. Like, that was amazing. That was everything I could want out of this. And by the end of the show, I'm not sure if this is 100% the adaptation I wanted, but I think it's the best that could have been done with what they had to work with, I guess. Like, in terms of Unlimited Blade Works, it's a scenario that I absolutely adore. I look at this adaptation and I go, yeah, they added some things, they tweaked some things, they made stuff a little bit different, but I don't think they took anything away from it in doing that. And in an adaptation, because there are a few different types of adaptations. There are ones that are like flawlessly 100% down to the wire, like your Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhoods, for example, that basically take the source material and replicate it flawlessly. And anything you like about one, you'll like about the other. Anything you don't like about one, you will not like about the other. You can't really do that here, because if they did do that one for one, a lot of stuff would be missed out that you're assumed to would have known, like everything Connor mentioned right at the start of the stream. So I think what they did with the adaptation was great. And any problems that I have with it lie in what was fundamentally, I guess, flawed in adapting this scenario in the first place. So 8 out of 10 as well from me. I thought it was bloody good, and yes, and I am terrified for the state of the Heavensville movie. Because if it is just one film, I guarantee you, if it's just one film, it's going to be bollocks.
Yeah.
It's worrying because it's going to ruin it.
Yeah.
It's going to ruin. It's going to ruin it for people who haven't experienced it. So people like me, people like Ebby, who I know the basic storyline of Heavensville, but I've purposely steered clear of it because I wanted to experience it properly without reading it on a bloody wiki. But yeah, I feel like the fans who have abstained from it deserve a proper adaptation, a faithful adaptation, at least to an extent, to be able to get what it can offer. And one movie won't do that.
No.
Like, even I know that. One movie won't do that.
We got a 30 out of 40, by the way.
It's
Ooh,
nice.
That's not too bad.
Nice round score.
That's 3 out of 4, that is.
Yeah.
And this is our longest episode.
Woo!
Yeah.
2 hours
Once
and
again.
20 minutes.
On a Sunday.
On a fucking Sunday. So there
I've
you go,
got
Connor.
work in the
Have,
morning.
Connor,
Fuck.
have we
I can't-
successfully made it
I
up to you?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I can't remember. Was Watamote the shortest episode you did?
One of. It wasn't
One
the.
of.
It
Ooh,
wasn't the
yeah, I
shortest.
don't think it was the actual shortest.
So I'm pretty
I
sure
think
the actual.
Kamigami.
Kamigami is the shortest, Watamote is the second shortest, I believe.
Okay.
Basically, this episode is more than twice the length of the Watamote episode.
Alright, well, balance this out. It's fine.
There you
We're
go.
all good. That's all I care about. Equivalent exchange. Everything.
Yep. And I think that about wraps us up.
Don't forget to join us on the 22nd of August, which is in less than 2 weeks' time, because we're going to be watching KOKKO Season 3, and Erin's going to be joining us.
Yeah, she is.
Good.
So you guys, I get to do my freaking bro-a-thon with Ollie and Bruce. We get to bloom watch KUROKO together and get hype.
I can't wait. I get to watch KUROKO. Someone told me that there's a Kisei match. Ah!
Yeah. Someone told me that Akashi actually passes the ball,
he
like
does
just
something.
touches the ball, does something, apart from just like stabbing people with scissors or whatever.
great.
So can't flipping wait. But before we wrap the fuck off, Connor, would you like to plug yourself to everyone?
Hey everyone, I am FictionReviews here on YouTube. You can check me out at youtube.com/FictionReviews. I do not have a Crunchyroll link that you can go to have a month free of premium membership.
Nor
But
do
if
we.
you want to set that up for me, go for it. Yeah, I make some cool videos sometimes, maybe, not really.
It's been a
But
while.
yeah. There is actually, you can go see, I made a video of me the minutes, well, like the 10 minutes after the announcement of UBW actually came out. I was wearing this shirt,
Yeah, you were.
and it's it pretty much is the same hype that I still feel right now about it all. So, you know, take that as you will.
Sick. So, with that, I has been back a shift. I has been joined by Ebby Shift and Cam Shift
No,
and Connor Shift.
you stop.
Ebby, Cam, and Connor, and Alan. It's been good. We have been the bones of our swords.
We
I
have.
think.
Unlimited OKKO works.
Like,
And
and
in
you know
that
what?
moment-
And thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us.
Yeah, we
You've
had
all-
over, like, consistently over 100
Yeah, I
people,
think it's because
so-
Tristan retweeted me.
Oh.
Oh.
There you go. And
I
everyone in the
understand
chat, you're all the bones of your swords too.
We love
And in
you.
that moment, I swear, we were all the bones of our sword.
Yep.
We love you, even
So
if you all
we'll-
do get a bit overly defensive about fate. But
Yeah.
we know that's because you're all passionate about it, so it's
And we
so
love-
it's
and
sort,
we love you
So
for
it's
it.
sort of okay.
Okay. So we'll see you all on the 22nd. I hope so. I hope we'll see you all on the 22nd anyway. Because if we don't, then that means you haven't seen KUROKO yet, and you should watch KUROKO. So watch KUROKO, come join us on the 22nd. It'll be absolutely amazing. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. See you soon.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.